Hello, hello, hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya, good to see ya, good to see ya. What is up? Dylan Hunter, John Denator, Swing for Zero, Mega Magic, Art Prowley, Owen One by. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, y'all are having an amazing day, a great week. So yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to stream today because tomorrow's the Super League, so bonus stream, but I managed to sneak it in. We might not go like exactly as long as usual, but I really wanted to stream for a bunch of reasons. One is I miss y'all and I want to hang out with y'all, so I want to make sure that we got a stream in. The other thing is I still need y'all to help me figure out what deck to play tomorrow. That's the big goal of this stream, other than having fun and hanging out, is we got to figure out a deck for the Super League tomorrow. Motherfrogger, variant, Doyson, how are you? Good to see ya. Any thoughts on a Thopter Sword deck for tomorrow? Would love to see you play it. Does it hold up in 2024? Ooh, do you have a deck list? I haven't seen Thopter. So okay, here's what's coming up tomorrow. This is the easiest way I think to see it. So tomorrow is, they're calling it Moto Masters now. It's Super League. It's Super League with a new name. So tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, so 4 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to be me playing against Luna Love and also Brad Nelson and also Nikachu. So it's gonna be the modern format. I still don't know. By the end of the stream, I gotta submit my deck. Like, I'm already pushing it. It was supposed to be 24 hours ahead. So at the end of the stream, I gotta submit my deck, and I still don't know exactly what to play. So I figure, does anyone know what Luna Love plays? I've been trying to figure that out. So I figure Nikachu is going to play Merfolk, 1,000,000%. There is literally a 0% chance Nikachu plays anything other than Merfolk. You have Brad Nelson, who's going to play like some good deck. I don't know, whatever the best deck is at the moment. Modern. It's Modern tomorrow. So Brad's gonna play, Scam or like Rhino, something that's strong. I really don't know what Luna Love plays. I have no idea. And then I don't know what I'm gonna play. I've been bouncing around. So here's where I'm at. Actually, we gotta do reminders first, and then I'm trusting in you, chat, to help me make a good decision here, or a horrible decision that's entertaining, which I guess would make it a good decision. Everyone else is coming to have fun, therefore ruin their fun with Prison. Prison could be. I can't play Tron. No. I'm not a dirty Troner. Reminders real quick. Replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Yesterday we played some 68 card Splendid Reclamation Landfall combo. There's some sweet decks coming up on the YouTube. If you haven't seen them, check them out. There's lots of good stuff on there. Everyone's saying Mono Red Prison. Literally everyone. That's the deck that all of you have said. Does that mean maybe I actually have to play Mono Red Prison? The thing, so here's the problem I have with Mono Red Prison. 39 Rhinos would be super funny. So the challenge of this Super League thing is it's got to be entertaining, but it can't be like full on against the odds meme mode. Like we want it to be fun and have it be a good show, but we also don't want to just go full on against the odds and not win a game or do anything. So that's kind of the challenge, right? Is finding that mixture of can our deck be good enough to win some, but still be entertaining and spicy? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is I'm definitely not just going to go over to the metagame page and be like, oh, Rhinos. I'm gonna play Rhinos or whatever. That's what I don't want to do. The tournament's about having fun more than anything, but it's also a tournament, so I also don't want to go to the against the odds page and pick out the 10% against the odds deck, especially since people are pretty good that are in gotta play against Brad Nelson and some really good players. So I think that's also going to be a challenge. But anyway, Battle of Wits would be really spicy. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/FTG Goldfish. If you get a free goldfish sticker, just let them know you want one in your order notes and they will hook you up. Hammer Time could be a good one. I'm associated with Hammer Time. Mono Red Prison. So here's my issue with Mono Red Prison. So Mono Red Prison, I love. All-time favorite modern archetype, for sure. But if you look at Mono Red Prison in 2024, the thing that gets me about it, and I guess I could just build a version that didn't do this, but the thing that gets me about it is it's really a Karn deck, and I miss being able to just play Koths and Chandras. I mean, I guess this build is playing Koth and Chandra along with Karn. So the Karn is the part that makes me oh, do I really want to play a Karn deck? Karn's such a dirty card that I just dislike. So I guess I could build a version without Karn maybe, or maybe just suck it up and play Karn, because Karn Liquid Metal Coating's really good. My expectation, here's my guess tomorrow. Samwise a Stout Heart seems kind of worth trying in this mono white deck. Yeah, Samwise is pretty interesting. I could see adding a copy for sure. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's my option. So I've heard Mono Red Prison. We could definitely do Mono Red Prison. I was thinking of playing this Martyr deck that we're gonna play today. Good in Soul Sisters. Plus, this isn't exactly Soul Sisters, but I do like Amiria decks. I like Martyr of Sands, Soul Sisters, Life Gain style decks. So this was my if I was gonna play a better deck, and this is still very rogue, it's not a top tier deck or anything, but if I was gonna play a deck that I thought was kind of good, at least I thought maybe this would be a good option. The 6-drop is Eagles in the North. It's basically just a land cycler, a plane cycler that we can eventually reanimate with Amiria, part of the Lauren's Revealed cycle from the Lord of the Rings set. Is there any way to make a combo zombie decks from a year ago useful? I love that deck. That would be a super sweet one to play. I haven't worked on that one recently. I'm gonna have to work on it again. The other one I was thinking, and this was my if I'm go super off the wall, let me see if I can find this deck. This was my initial. I thought about Blackburn, because Blackburn, I do like Blackburn. The games will go super quick, but Blackburn is pretty funny, and it does win more than it should. So I thought about that. I also was thinking about this Leyline deck. This Leyline deck is kind of ridiculous. It's a Leyline freed from the real combo deck that either does literally nothing or it wins the game on turn 2. There's really no middle ground. There's really no middle ground with this deck. So this deck, the idea of this deck is So you have Leyline of Abundance and Leyline of the Guild Pact. The idea is, if you have Leyline of Abundance, you can Birds of Paradise on turn 1 or Noble Hierarch, and they'll tap for 2 mana because of Leyline, and then you can Freed from the Reel to go infinite and make infinite mana, and then with the infinite mana, you can win with Leyline, you can Storm the Festival, you can draw your deck with Kenrith, you can cast an Emrakul. Leyline of the Guild Pact also lets us do really weird things. It adds a bunch of pips for Nykthos, but it also lets us fetch up Dryad Arbor and use that as our combo piece, because our Dryad Arbor will be an island, so it taps for blue, which we need for the combo. So I thought about I thought about playing this deck. Like I said, it's like I'm gonna do a video of this deck because it's really funny. I don't know how good it is though. I don't know if it's gonna be just a complete disaster, but that was one that was on my list as well. I thought, man, maybe I play Bant Leyline combo. That would definitely be far out there. I didn't build this, but here's someone's Thopter Sword deck. Looks sweet. Thopter combo. Yeah, I mean, Thopter combo could be sweet. I haven't played Thopter combo in forever. I guess the other thing is, I kind of want to play a deck I'm a little familiar with, just so I don't embarrass myself too hard on stream. How about your mightiest creature of them all, Flump? I considered that too. I considered just going full on Flump combo. For the memes. There's so many options in Modern. Anyway, what do you think of, do you think Ponza would be fun for a Super League? But I think if I was going to go Ponza, I'd probably go Mono Red Prison. I think I would go that direction, but Flumpy Bogart. I mean, who doesn't love a good Flumpig? The worst card of all time, but sometimes it's good. Stuffy Doll, I think, is just, I love Stuffy Doll, but I think it's going to be a little slow to actually play in the tournament. Yeah, Panharmonicon Compile. I mean, that's why I was thinking of the mono white Martyr deck. You could play an Elish Norn in mono white Martyr. That would be a decent possibility. Let's play some Magic, and we'll talk about it as we go along. Play my pseudo-pod deck from last stream, and practice it and play it tomorrow. Send me your list again, King of Jake. Let me look at it again. What if you piss people off with MH2 Tribal? I mean, isn't Modern MH2 Tribal? You want to try the Leyline deck? Leylines or Martyrs, chat? Would you rather see... I will tell you, there is going to be a video of the Leyline deck coming up on the YouTube, but if you want to see it, we can still try. We can try it. Do you want to see the Leyline deck? Leyline or Martyr should we play? Everyone wants to see Leylines? Did I see a deck named One Ring Turds? Oh, I think so. I don't know if we ever played this. I feel like this is a deck I built, but I never... There's not even a one ring in it. Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't play it. That just looks like turds. I don't even see a one ring. Martyr. Leylines. Oh boy. Leylines give us a sneak peek. All right, we might be able to do both. We can probably do both, because Leylines, I'm telling you, the games are going to be over incredibly quickly. So here's the thing. So the Leyline deck, I kind of already explained it. Okay, how about this? We'll start with Leylines and do a couple matches just so you can see what it's doing. And then we can also play Martyr. We'll do both. But I'll show you the Leyline deck really quick, just because the games are gonna go quick. It's a deck it's gonna win or lose by turn 4 most of the time. So Bant Leylines. Let's jump into league number 1. What about Super Friends? The problem with Super Friends is the best Planeswalkers in Modern are all the ones that I kind of don't like. It's all the Teferis and Narsets, Karns. It's all the Stax Planeswalkers. So I feel like Super Friends is less cool in Modern than it used to be, because the Planeswalkers that are in it are just less cool than they used to be. Mono Red Prison would be a good fallback. Update on playing Doppelgang. I've learned from Arena that for some reason can't handle Awake in the Woods in high numbers. I had Arena forced to draw a couple times after casting X 100 or higher. Hence why I've added World Soul's Rage to the deck as a win con. That sounds really sweet, Tuka buddy. Nothing like breaking Arena. That's how you know you got a good deck. When Arena breaks, you know you're in a good spot. Pseudopod. So pretty much, I mean, this deck is definitely far out there for sure. So it's kind of a Cascade combo deck. I would... So let me see if I understand what this deck's even trying to do. So you're hoping to mulligan into Geological Appraiser, and then if you Geological Appraiser, you'll hit an Eldritch Evolution, which can get a... I don't even know. What are these expensive things for, though? Or is the thinking that, like, maybe you draw like a Sign of Draco, and then you can use that to find one of those big things? Definitely a wild pile. That is for sure. So this deck, you got mulligan like crazy. So does this combo kill? Actually, I think we keep this. This hand's actually kind of good, right? So we got Leyline of the Guild Pact. Which is 4 green mana symbols. Oh god. Oh dear. It's happening. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so opponent's playing a Rhinos deck. Oh, it's another Leyline. I wish that was in our opening hand. Well, play the Hierarch. We're really only like 1 mana away from casting a Storm the Festival, which hopefully finds us our combo pieces. No, our opponent's playing a good Leyline of the Guild Pact deck. We're playing the jank. You beat me with Expedited Inheritance combo a couple of weeks back. Fun to watch, but I'm not actually sure it's actually good. Yeah, that's one I actually considered that. There's gonna be a video of that on the YouTube too. I think it's coming out like Friday or something, that deck. Oh no. Oh, yep. Well, and that's game. So the thing about this deck is when you lose pretty spectacularly and quickly. And I think this is one of those. Like, honestly, our odds of winning now are probably 3% or something. It is essentially 0% that we win from here, to the point where, honestly, we should probably just scoop and go to the next game. But we'll give it another, we'll let the Rhinos come down and then scoop, because this is a full-on combo deck, right? This is a full-on combo deck. It's not like we have removal. We don't have removal that we're going to stop our opponent from doing things. So once our combo gets answered, it's pretty much just game over. And I do love Upheaval. So the other thing to keep in mind is what we're probably going to play against. So you're going to play against Merfolk for sure. Like, that one's pretty much a 100%er that we're going to play against Merfolk. Yeah, we're just... Effective negation. Do we just go to game 2? When do these Rhinos come down? 2 turns. Yeah, we're not going to win from here. GG. You can go Geological Appraiser into Carnosaur to any of the 8 drops, or you can play Sign of Draco and Eldritch Evolution. I mean, it seems really funny when it goes off, for sure. I love the idea of it. I would say there'd probably be a fun against the odds deck to try. I'm a little concerned about, like, just the slowness and inconsistency of it. Basically, we have to mulligan to find one specific card, and if that card gets countered or dealt with, we just kind of auto lose. And then there's still ways that can, like, go wrong even if we do find it. So I don't know if it would be a deck that I would actually feel comfortable playing for the tournament, but it would be a fun deck to, like, try front against odds or something. Nah, Asmo Food's not spicy enough, I don't think. Actually, if I was gonna play, I don't know if I'd play Asmo Food, but I would play like a Sam Food Academy Manufacturer deck. I do love Academy Manufacturer. Those decks are always hilarious when they work. Well, okay. Going to sideboarding, Veil of Summer. Does Veil of Summer do anything? Not much. This deck's so jank. I farmed a lot of rank by playing historic version. I farmed a lot of rank out of historic version of this deck by playing Bullet Control. Yeah. How does Gates sound? So Gates are a little bit tough in... Gates are a little bit tough, I would say, in Modern. Just because there's a lot of there's a lot of land hate available. There's like blood moons and alpine moons and plenty of options to hate on lands. So I feel like Gates, it's kind of just like the Primeval Titan decks, except slower and worse than just like winning with an amulet or something. Ooh. Oh, this hand. So we have the Leyline of Abundance, and we have Leyline of the Guild Pack. The problem is we don't have a mana dork. I think we have to mulligan this, even though we have the Leylines. Actually, Actually, there's a way this could work. I think we, you know what? On second thought, we keep this. This is Dryad Arbor's time to shine. If we draw a land next turn, we can go infinite turn 2 with the Dryad Arbor. Those are our hopes and dreams. So Leyline. Come on, Dryad Arbor. Opponent does not have a Leyline. We'll play the Misty Rainforest. We need the Dryad Arbor to live, and we need to draw land. We need the Dryad Arbor to live, and we need to draw land. Opponent. Tap land. Oh my god. Oh, we gotta go for it. So we gotta crack this. We need any untapped land. We're gonna get our one Dryad Arbor. Come on, deck. Hey! Okay, so we will tap this. Oh no, wait. Oh no, it doesn't work. Oh no, it doesn't work. We're a mana short. Wait. Oh, it works with a mana dork because we have 2 lands, and this isn't a mana dork. Oh, that's way. Oh, I got too excited. The combo works on turn 2 with Birds of Paradise or with Noble Hierarch, but we're 1 mana short with Dryad Arbor because we only have 1 extra land. We need 4 total mana, and we only have 3. Oh, so now, do we even put the Freed from the Real on the Dryad Arbor, or is that just setting ourselves up to get absolutely wrecked? Yeah, I guess we just have to wait. We can hold up the Veil of Summer. They can't Leyline binding it. Although if they have like Fire Ice, we're pretty dead. Miscalculation indeed. Mackerel Snow, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoops here for you. Thank you. Oh, Dryad Arbor always disappoints every time. Always a disappointment. That Dryad Arbor. Come on, deck. Show us one more land. One more land. All right. Play Beseju. I mean, we gotta go for it. We can't not go for it. We should crack our fetch well, I guess we don't even need to. 1, 2, 3. Hold. Freed from the Real. Hold. Please. I mean, they're rhinos, so they can't have too many 1 mana interactive pieces. No. Oh no. What's up, dog? How are you? I mean, we can Veil, but this doesn't actually save us because now we can't combo and they just kill the Dryad Arbor. I mean, it's still worth spending the Veil of Summer, but now all our opponent needs to do is use any removal. They know they have to kill this or they're going to lose, and they will. Breeding Pool, untapped. Oh, wait a minute. Opponent doesn't have an answer. Instead, they will Rhino. Okay, that's fine. Our Dryad Arbor is mightier than Rhinos. I'm pretty confident about that. Okay, so we untap. We draw Birds of Paradise. We will tap for blue. Untap. Yes, go, Dryad Arbor. You can do it. Tap for blue. Untap. So we get to cast Double Storm the Festival for sure. Untap. And that should find us everything we need to actually win, I think. If it doesn't, that would be a disappointment. Go, Dryad Arbor. Dryad Arbor usually just disappoints me, but it's actually popping off. Storm the Festival. No, you don't got more forces. So we will take a Nykthos and a Sanctum Weaver. Go back to doing our thing. So tap for blue, untap. Oh, tap for blue, untap. Oh, this deck's so wonky. Tap for blue. Sanctum Weaver can go infinite without the Leyline, which is nice. Untap. Tap for blue, untap. Tap for blue, untap. It's a little hit our swans, draw some cards-y, I will say. Tap for blue, untap. Birds of Paradise, might as well. Storm the Festival, again, keep it going. Teferi, Leyline of Abundance. Our opponent's definitely not interacting. Now we get to tap for even more because we have double Leyline. Tap for blue and 2 green, untap. Again. Oh, this deck. Untap it. Untap it. So now we need a Kenrith. If we find Kenrith, we just immediately win. Storm the Festival. Birds of Paradise and a Windswept Heath. Well, that's okay. One more time. Untap it. We still have one more Storm the Are we gonna fizzle? Are we gonna do all this and not win? Leyline pumps, but our opponent can chump. We only have one attacker right now. So yes, we can make our team infinitely large, but to win the game right away, without passing back to our opponent, we gotta hit Kenrith. I mean, we probably still win anyway, but by just growing our team. Well, Noble Hierarch and Noble Hierarch. And, all right, let's crack a fetch. Shuffle them up. Get a forest. Teferi. Bounce a rhino. Hey! Yes! Oh, wow. We cast 4 Storm the Festivals and couldn't find it. And then our one Teferi draw comes through. So tap and untap. And now this one is definitely over because we get to cast a Kenrith. And that's the game. So here comes Kenrith. I mean, turn 4 kill. Turn 4 kill's not bad, right? That's still reasonable. Kenrith. And opponent scoops it up. Well, I mean, that's basically what this deck's trying to do. It's a lot easier if you're comboing with the Birds of Paradise than a Dryad Arbor. Dryad Arbor is like the backup plan. Not the primary plan, but when it works, it's actually super, super sweet. Hey Seth, you gotta start putting your phone on vibrate or something when you're recording. You're too popular guy. Your Facebook Messenger been dinging a lot more in videos. Recently it seems cease meowing in the background is always fine though. Oh my goodness, thank you for the advice, Cat Cam fan. I will check into that. I didn't realize that was the thing, but I will make sure to mute the phone. Speaking of C's, oh man. So C's might have gotten a little bit bitten by bear last night. that had never happened before. She's fine. She's back to meowing and being fine. But I was in my bedroom and Bear was like sitting on the floor next to the bedroom or next to the bed, and he had a bone in there. And the only thing Bear gets a little protective about is his bones. He really is protective of his bones. So Cecil walked by him and he'll kind of like give a little growl like, stay away from my bone. So he was sitting by his bone. Cease kept like walking by and Bear would like growl at her. And I'd be like, Cease, okay, move away. You know, Bear's got his bone. And then she'd come back over and do it again. Walk right next to his face, right next to him. And she just kept doing that. And after like 3 or 4 times of her doing that and Bear like growling, like just like stay away from my bone, he finally just like snapped at her. And he didn't like, I don't even know if he actually got his teeth into her, but he like snapped at her and she like ran off and and went and hid in the other room. She's not hurt, like she wasn't bleeding or hurt or anything. So maybe he didn't really get her too much. But that's the first time I'd seen Bear do that. Like, I feel bad for Cease because Cease like she just doesn't understand. The bone is like the biggest thing in Bear's world, and he's constantly at all times is like, where's my bone? Where's my bone? Is anyone messing with my bone? He's always got that in his head. Cease has literally no idea. Like Cease does not care all about this disgusting bone, but she doesn't realize how much it matters to Bear, so they always get in this conflict. We have a bunch of gift subs from DTGFT, handing out gift subs to Javanese, Kason SC, Kedrose, Lightly Salted, and Jar Jar Binks God. Oh, Jar Jar Binks. Is there a worse Star Wars character? Actually, you know what? Is Jar Jar really that bad? Jar Jar might be underrated, come to think of it. Well, Pact of Negation to the bottom, and Bird's Paradise to the bottom. And let's see what happens. Sand is pretty sketchy. We do not win on turn 2. Thank you so much for the gift subs, DTH. Opponent, Flooded Strand, cracks it. I think, yeah. I mean, he's kind of funny though, right? In his own way. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, we don't have the right ley line. All right, Bird's Paradise, go. Yeah, so the Bird's only taps for 1. So Freed from the Real doesn't do anything yet. Wait, wait, is Jar Jar a Sith Lord? I swear I watched that movie. Is that a thing? No. I thought Jar Jar was a good guy. I guess it's been a long time since I watched that movie. Jar Jar's not a Sith, is he? Opponent. See, this is the thing about the deck. So we got to see the good of the deck last game. Now we're seeing the not as good of the deck. It's hilarious when it goes off, and it can be very fast. It's just very disruptible and inconsistent. Star Wars fans are next level. Conspiracy theories about Jar Jar. I mean, I guess at least they're nice, harmless conspiracy theories. Out of all the things you can get a conspiracy theory about, Star Wars is probably one of the least harmful, I guess. About it. Steam vets, add passes. Seems like instant speed rhinos. Oh boy, this would have been good earlier. Well, 1 and 2 and 3 to Fairy. Time Raveler. Are we rhinoing? I mean, so if they do have Violent Outburst, or maybe they have Mystical Dispute, that's also possible. All right, good. Hey, Seth, have you tried out the Domain Zoo deck using Guild Pack yet? I haven't, Elfie Guru. The deck blew up so much and became so well known that we didn't even play it before it became like a tier thing, so we never actually got to it. I thought about trying to jam Sign of Rocco in this deck as a way to like protect the mana dorks. Which, I mean, I imagine we could like play a Triome. Yeah, there's the rhinos. I imagine we could like play a Triome and then play the Leyline and try to do that. Have you thought about playing Infect? Hey, what's up, Stone Rain? Good to see ya. I have not seriously thought about trying to play Infect. Should I think about playing Infect? Well, no mana dork. Mulligan. Ha. So it says Leyline of the Guild Pack, Freed from the Real. You know what? This might be fine. It's not good. But we get to start with the Leyline. Ooh, get Thought Seized. This might be another Dryad Arbor game. This might be another Dryad Arbor's Time to Shine game. My mom's the worst. Wait, your mom, I think, I don't know. I'm homeschooled. Wait, are you really homeschooled, Dave? Uh, Opponent passes. Oh, there's a Nykthos. All right, Misty Rainforest, go. So we need what? We need... Our opponent did not take the Freed from the Real, which is a little greedy. So we mostly need our opponent to tap out. Or we could try to play the Teferi first. This might... Oh, we need a finisher still. They took the finale, so we don't have a finisher. We make infinite mana, but we don't have a way to actually win the game. King of Empty Jake, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so... Really? Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent, factory, into factory. I mean, and you pump. Oh. I mean, do we just get it? Do we get the Dryad Arbor? So we make infinite mana, but we got no payoff. So what do we do with infinite green mana? Nothing, really. I think we gotta wait, right? Because we just don't have anything to do with it. Me too, if possible. I'm on vacation end of March. May try to go to New York City or a Yankees game then. Ooh, coming to New York, Stone Rain? I mean, New York City's a ways away from me. I think we wait. Oh! Okay. That is awkward. Oh, we would have drawn the finisher. Well, we would have shuffled, right? If we had got the Dryad Arbor, it would have shuffled, so it wouldn't have actually worked. Okay. Blue, white. Whatever. Play Teferi. Take up Teferi. But now we still can't get the Dryad Arbor. Oh, awkward. Awkward. Are you a Yankee fan, Stone Rain? I think they're going to be good this year. Baseball is the boringest sport imaginable. Outside of, like, I don't know, some of the Olympic sports. Oh, some of the Olympic sports are pretty boring. But baseball, oh, it's so boring. But I do kind of follow the Yankees. Do you know what you would play if you were going to try out Canadian Highlander? I don't. I haven't really researched that too much. Well, he took the Storm. Our opponent has no idea what our deck is doing. They really do not have any idea what we're up to. Hits Teferi. We draw an Emrakul. Well, take up Teferi. Pass the turn. Next turn. Next turn hopefully should be the turn. Opponent. Urza Saga. I mean, it's got to be tempting to fire up both factories and kill the Teferi, right? Yup. Just as we planned. Opponent kills the Teferi. That's okay. Because because we have a Mighty Dryad Arbor. Oh. Wait. None of the... We don't have the other Leyline, chat. Why are we getting excited? We don't even have the other Leyline. None of this actually does anything because we have Leyline of the Guild Pack. We don't have Leyline of Abundance. It doesn't do anything at all. Yeah, no, we have to have Leyline of Abundance, not Leyline of the Guild Pack. Leyline of the Guild Pact mostly adds mana for Nykthos. Like, that's the main thing that Leyline of the Guild Pact does. It does allow us to combo with Dryad Arbor, but we still need to have Leyline of Abundance too. Leyline of Abundance is the one that makes it most realistic to be able to combo. This deck kind of sucks. I mean, it is a Freed from the Real combo deck, so yes. Truth has been spoken. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we still can't really do anything. Well, play the tap land. Pass the turn. Opponent. We're gonna play Martyr. People saw this Leyline deck and wanted to see what the Leyline deck was about, but we're gonna switch to Martyr in another match or so. Yeah, you need the green Leyline to go infinite. Leyline of the Guild Pact helps Dryad Arbor, which is like the plan whatever Z, like super far down the list of plans. Mostly it's really good with Nykthos, right? So it's four mana symbols for Nykthos. But it does not allow us to go infinite by itself. The green Leyline, that's the one that lets us go infinite. Opponent hits us. Void Waka. Get racked. Storm. Boy, we are just a mana short of doing everything. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we're just dead, actually. I mean, I guess we'll give it one more turn, but we're likely just dead. Opponent. Another rack. Yeah, Sanctum Weaver can go infinite. Does go infinite with Freed from the Real. Opponent goes attacking and death. We don't have enough. We don't have enough mana to cast Leyline. Leyline's 5. Or Leylines. Oh, we could have cast Leyline. You're right. I don't know why I was thinking it cost 5. Well, that was definitely a punt. That is true. Well, I guess Leyline of Sanctity seems pretty good. Pact of Negation seems pretty dead. So I don't know, what do you think of the idea of this deck? Is this deck even in the conversation of a deck worth considering? Like, this is what the deck is. So it's going to win some percentage of the time when you mulligan into the combo. And it's really cool when you do that. However, a lot of games it gets disrupted and it does nothing. So I don't know where that lands. Well, all right. Go Leyline of the Guild Pact. No Nykthos, so we have all these Leylines, but they don't really do anything. The downside of Leylines against 8-rack is our opponent's it's gonna be pretty easy for our opponent to make us discard our hand. Mono red bird. I don't know about bird. I do like bird. It's a little dull though. Well, let's play a Sanctum Weaver. Play a Misty Raid Forest. So that's the other awkward thing about this deck is we can go infinite and still not win. Like, if we freed from the real the Sanctum Weaver, we can make infinite mana, and it just doesn't do anything in this case. Going infinite and not winning is the most awkward. Opponent going to kill the Sanctum Weaver. And there's a rack. That's not great for us. Opponent passes, we get burned. It's a forest. Yeah, we'll play Martyr after this game. What about 16 whack? Whack decks are fun. I do like whack decks. Yeah, Blackburn could be cool. What do you think about a format called Pure Modern that would only include sets that were standard legal, no Horizon sets? Ooh. So yeah, that's a Bowmaster. So I would say I like the idea of it, although it might not be as awesome as you think, if that makes sense. So okay. So I love the idea. I like the idea of Pure Modern. It's a neat idea. However, there's two things I would say that are negatives about it. All right. One more Leyline game and we're going to switch to Martyr. Last one. So I would say, here's the two things that I would say. So one is, yes, not having Modern Horizons cards would be cool, but a lot of like really busted push stuff has gotten printed in standard in the last few years too. So if the idea is it's going to like get rid of all the cards people dislike, it'll get rid of some of them, but you're still going to have, you know, Karns, Uros, Okos. I know some of those cards are actually banned, but like there's powerful cards printed in standard sets too, powerful and miserable cards. So that would be one thing. The other thing I would say is I just don't know how to make a format like that really take off, if that makes sense. I've seen so many, over the time I've been making Magic content, like, I've seen so many fan-made formats that people suggest. Some of them are really fun, some of them get some initial hype. Okay, this is actually a turn 2 win hand. We have Leyline of Abundance, the Leyline that lets us combo. We have Noble Hierarch, a Mana Dork. We have Freed from the Real. So this taps for 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. We're going to be on the draw. Our opponent can disrupt it, but if they do not, we win the game on turn 2. This is turn 2 Emrakul. Turn 2 Emrakul. Oh, yeah, they're going to have the removal if they're an Izzet deck. Steve Vance, untapped, and oh no, Swift Spear. Oh, they're definitely going to have burn spells. There will be many burn spells. Something as simple as a gut shot does stop our combo. So yeah, I think that's the challenge, is how do you get people into it? I just remember tiny leaders. I mean, I will say some formats have gotten a cult following. Like, I think pre-modern is a good example of... well, Vern Catacombs, crack Vern Catacombs. I would say that pre-modern is a good example of how a community format can be successful without becoming Commander. I mean, Commander is always an example of the format that blew up, right? Yeah, we're gonna play Martyr after this. We were gonna play Martyr right from the start, but people saw this Leyline deck and wanted to see how it works. So after this game or match, we're switching to Martyr. Ooh, wait, is there actually a world where they don't kill the Hierarch? That would be pretty sweet. This is a deck I've been playing for a while. Super fun, tons of good value cards and Lava Dart, Lava Dart, Lava Dart. Opponent. Yeah, that's deadly. So you can see the inconsistency of the Leyline deck and the matchups. I will say one of the reasons I think I would consider playing this deck is I do think that it might line up pretty well with the decks that I would expect people to play during the Moto Masters event. Because I think, like, Merfolk's not super fast and disruptive. So I think it should be okay against Merfolk. And then I saw, like, Luna Love, who I don't really know, posted a poll on their Twitter, and it seemed like some sort of Amulet deck was maybe the most likely option. And that's not a very disruptive deck. So if you run into decks that aren't disruptive, I feel like maybe the deck would have a shot. Well, all right. I mean, we'd make a lot of Nykthos mana. We can't do anything with that Nykthos mana, but we can make a lot of it. So, come on. I mean, we're going to untap on turn 2 potentially with like 10 mana. 9 mana. Hey, Seth, question. With the new Commander dying rule, does it trigger Insidious Roots when you move your... Lava Dart. When you move your commander back to the command zone? Whew, that is... Does anyone actually know? So it's not a new rule. I guess it's like kind of new from like a few years ago. Does anyone actually know the answer to that? So I think the answer would be no, but I'm not 100% sure. My guess is if the commander changes zones, you may move it to the command zone. Okay, so it's not a replacement effect then. It's not, if your commander dies, you can put it in the command zone instead of the graveyard. If that's the wording of the rule, then it should work. I guess that lines up with how it plays on Moto. If you ever see it on Moto, it like goes to the graveyard and then a pop-up comes that asks you if you want to put it in the command zone. So yeah, I guess if that's the wording, then I think it should work. That's kind of a. Is there any way to abuse that though? Like, how would you? Yeah, Martyr Proc's coming. It's coming. People want to see the Leyline deck by popular demand. But after this game, which is going to be very, very shortly, we're switching to Martyr. Well, thin the deck. We need a Storm the Festival would be our best draw, I think. Or Forest. Well, there's a Forest go. Well, maybe we cross Leylines off the list of potential. Too risky. But how would you abuse it? Because you would have to deal with the command tax, right? So you put it back in the command zone. Yeah, I guess if it was something like like some sort of loop like Prosh Food Chain, then you could also add Insidious Roots to it. That would be kind of cool. Bonnet, Double Dragon Rage, Channeler. We draw something. Oh my god, another Forest. All right. I mean, we're closing in on Hardcasting and Emrakul here. 8, 9, 10, 11 mana next turn, and just nothing to do with it. What did the Wasteland say to the Dual Land? I don't know, Milk Crate. What did Wasteland say to the Dual Land? Hey, welcome, Sethro Jenkins. Bye you. Someone needs to write a horrible MTG joke book. I would buy it. We need, I don't even remember who the comedian was, but I remember like when I was a kid, there's like this joke book in our house from some like 1950s comedian that was it was this huge thick book, and it was all jokes like that. Just absolutely like, some of them I guess were a little funny, but just like cringy, punny one-liners. Oh, that's so good. Super awesome meeting you in Chicago. Glad to be able to meet you and have a good conversation with you. Hey, great to meet you, BG Stilts. Okay. I don't think we get another turn. If we do, we have double Nykthos. Double Nykthos, we can hardcast an Emrakul. I expect we die here. Yeah, odds increasing. And then it's Martyr. Then it's Martyr time. Tomer could write the book. Stop me if you've heard this one. A human, a merfolk, and a goblin will enter the battlefield. I mean, I think technically it's just enters now, right? Starting with Bloomborough. It is weird to me. Are we dead? 9. I guess we're not officially dead yet. Oh, wait, there's 1 lava dart, 2 lava darts. We are officially dead. Well, Leylines. It wins a game once in a while. Let's do some martyring. All right, so probably won't play that one for the tournament. Let's try Martyr. Mono white Martyr. I do like Martyr. I feel like Martyr is the kind of archetype I like. And it's a little bit more of like a real game than like a glass cannon combo deck. Oh no, I think it's enters. They're just, instead of enters the battlefield, they're dropping it to just enters. Kind of like, so now instead of ETB, it's just E. Yeah, technically. I mean, it reminds me of, it is modern, the Moto Masters thing. It reminds me of like Shuffle. Do you remember when the like cards used to say shuffle your library, and they were like, well, what else are you going to shuffle? Like, you know, I guess we might as well just say shuffle and people will figure it out. So it's another one of those changes, I think. So we're up against Shingatha. I've got a 1 ring. I don't know if I love or hate this card style. Honestly, I like this style of art in general. It reminds me of like 60s psychedelic, like whatever bands or something. So I like the art style, but it is kind of jarring in your hand. Like, if this wasn't an iconic card like the One Ring, it does look like a band shirt, doesn't it? If it wasn't a pretty iconic card, I would have no idea. Like, how do you know what this does? How do you even know that it's a One Ring? Like, look at the look at the font on that. That's the mana cost there in the middle. Like, it's just, and then look at, try to read. My question is, chat, why? Yeah, so it's like Grateful Dead or like, psychedelic art. What does this have to do with Lord of the Rings? That's something I've never really understood. Do they just do it to be cool? Or is there some connection with Lord of the Rings with this style of art? Reading the card used to explain the card. Now, not necessarily. Reading the card may occasionally explain the card. Ooh, temporary lockdown could do some stuff. We're not probably gonna block this anyway. Let's just play the Portico. Surveil away the One Ring. Actually, do we want 2 One Rings? 2 rings? It is nice to be able to legend rule 1 away. So, okay, what is our actual plan? So next turn, we can Thraben Inspector in Plane Cycle. The next turn, we temporary lockdown or Abiding Grace. And the next turn, we One Ring. And the next turn, we One Ring. Yeah, I guess we keep it. Is there some connection to Lord of the Rings? Yeah, now, remember when WotC used to reduce rules text for the sake of flavor text? Yeah, now, I mean, flavor text is going to be a thing of the past at some point. There's just not enough room. Or else WotC is going to just have to start using the backside of cards. Well, how about a Thraben Inspector opponent? How do you feel about that? Our opponent cannot be playing that many basics, I don't think. Let's play Demolition Field, pass the turn. Opponent. I mean, Zeppelin made songs especially based on Lord of the Rings. Oh, so the connection is the 60s psychedelic bands like Lord of the Rings? Okay, I guess I could see that. The backside is just going to be the stats and how many power PTs the card has been in. What do you think about putting the actual text of the card on the back? I don't know, maybe this wouldn't be necessary for this One Ring, but I was thinking about it. There was a thing about like textless cards, and should textless cards in other special versions, should those cards even be allowed for tournament play? Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. We're going to Plane Cycle real quick here. Grab a Plains. And play the Plains. And, well, I guess we're going to waste a lot of our Thraben Inspector and our clue, but this seems like a very good temporary lockdown. You can't be playing a Force. Okay. Cool. 2 Nakatals and a Ragavan dealt with. 2 One Rings in hand. Pass the turn. Garfield said Magic the Gathering was supposed to be set specific. Other sets were supposed to be Magic something else, but since they put the Gathering on the back of the cards, they got stuck with it. Yeah, I think that is true. I've heard that before as well. Opponent with the Ragavan. I mean, if you go back to the first expansions they printed, it was actually going to have a different card back, so you could tell that it was different. And then they pulled the plug at the last minute, and 30 years later, well, there goes our Eagles. Now they might be kind of stuck with it. Opponent. Yeah, Zeppelin's not really a psychedelic band. I don't know. Honestly, one of my best friends, like during high school, loved Zeppelin. It was like his favorite band. I honestly think Zeppelin's kind of overrated. I know they're like good at what they do or whatever, but I actually don't really like Zeppelin. Kind of meh. Well, no. Not that Zeppelin wouldn't have a psychedelic connection, but I don't think of Zeppelin as a psychedelic band, if that makes sense. Like, I think of Zeppelin as, like, kind of a hard rock band or, like, a heavy metal, like, proto-heavy metal. No Ranger plus Martyr. We can't even sack the Martyr yet, so I think we just One Ring here. I think what we want to do is One Ring, start drawing cards with the One Ring, and set up a turn where we're going to go Ranger into Martyr, into activate Martyr, all in one turn, and just gain back all the life. I think that's the current plan. This also means our opponent can't just keep dashing us with Ragavan, because we have protection next turn. Blues, there's definitely blues influence in Zeppelin, but I mean, compared to like Jefferson Airplane or something, I just think, I don't know if Zeppelin would be classified as a psychedelic band. Black Sabbath invented heavy metal by accident. It is kind of funny to see like those early heavy metal. It's funny to see how much the genre evolved. You see like young Ozzy Osbourne standing there. It's so funny because I never was into heavy metal, but I remember remember the Osbournes TV show? That's kind of what I knew of Ozzy Osbourne, because I wasn't a big metal fan. I knew he was a musician, of course, and like I've heard some of his stuff, but I always thought he was like this goofy kind of whatever weird idiot guy. But he actually, like, back in the day, he actually had a really good metal voice. The dude could sing. Well, One Ring. Opponent's going to Leyline Binding. Our One Ring in response. Well, there goes our opponent's treasure. We don't get to draw a card. But we do find another One Ring. And this time, we're going to activate it right away and not let that Leyline Binding trick happen again. One Ring. Protection. Draw. Plus we want to hit a land drop, which we do not. Well, draw Thraben Inspector past the turn. What are your new thoughts of the new green spell from MH3? Does it seem good? Is it more fair? Is it a more fair free spell? I think the answer is both. So assuming that the entire cycle has the restriction of sack a non-token creature of the right color, that is certainly a fairer way to make free spells. I still think the card can be very strong, but I don't think it's going to have the same cross-deck impact that we saw from the last two cycles of free spells, where, like, you could play the Evoke Elementals in basically any deck. They fit in literally anything. Wow, we cannot find a land, but we did find a Wrath of God. Well, Wrath of God? And we have a Solitude if something crazy happens. Basically, we need a Martyr. We need to hit a land so we can get a Martyr and gain an absurd amount of life, and that should just put this game away. That's the last piece of the puzzle. We need one more land to Ranger for Martyr, sack it, and gain like 15 or something, and that should just do it. Sign of Draco. Opponent passes. Well, we will take 2, down to 7. That is a land. One Ring, draw some cards. Plains. 1, 2, 3. Ranger Captain of Eos. Get a Martyr. Martyr of Sands. Play it. Sack it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 21 life, up to 28, and now we will pitch a Reprieve, Solitude, Sign of Draco, and I mean that should do it. We are back up to 28, past the turn, and I feel like we're in pretty good shape now. Yeah, I don't know how our opponent's going to win from here. Yeah, isn't that Wrath of God art so good? What is the most iconic, in your opinion, the most iconic piece of Magic art? I actually think that Wrath of God has got to be on the list. Maybe it's not number 1, but I actually think it's got to be on the list. I mean, this game, I'm surprised our opponent's still playing this out. I mean, the power of the One Ring with Martyr is now we can just do whatever we want. Like, we can keep this One Ring going forever. Play a Flooded Strand, crack a Flooded Strand. Damnation's pretty iconic, too. Damnation is also pretty iconic. Thraben Inspector, make a clue. Thraben Inspector, make a clue. Abiding Grace, gain a bit more life. My Martyr is infinite. Get in with a Ranger Captain if you want to block, fine. Jace of Mind Sculptor's a good one. Oh, Sarah Angel? Maybe someone mentioned this on Twitter. Bolt has to be up there too. Someone mentioned this on Twitter the other day, and I guess I'm so much of a Magic boomer that I hadn't really thought about it. But someone pointed out that whenever we talk about iconic cards, we always go back to these really old cards. Lightning Bolts, Balance, Wrath of God. I wonder how different it is for players who have started playing in the last decade. I think that's a really interesting question. Because I think what is iconic probably varies a lot based on when you started playing and I guess how much you study the history of Magic in old cards. Yeah, I mean, so Abiding Grace just can reanimate the Martyr every turn. So basically, we're gaining a minimum of 12 life a turn, and it's probably going to get even better than that here because we have the One Ring to draw so many cards. So we just sack the Martyr, reveal our stuff, gain back a bunch of life. I mean, our main concern here might be milling out. Like, that might be the way we could actually die. Eventually, we're going to find the Emiria, though. And we have the Misfill Plains. That also helps. Well, I was wondering. And we will, 1, 2. Let's start attacking the mana. They can't be playing that many basics. Blow up your land. Are you playing basics? When does our opponent scoop? Not yet. They have a Plains. We get a Plains. Well. 1, 2, 3. Skyclave Apparition. Snipe the Brawler. Do some attacking. Hit you for 5. Well, this has felt pretty decent. Play the Emiria. And pass the turn. Reanimate the Martyr. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think we just sack it right now. Because we're going to have to discard a bunch of hand size. So maybe we just sack it right now. Get max life. What about a Planeswalker tribal deck for tomorrow? What Planeswalker would we build around? So tomorrow, I don't know how many of you remember the Super Leagues? If you've been following for a long time, how does the deck win? Combat damage mostly. Like, eventually we're just going to... Well, actually, our opponent scooping because they realize they can't win. Or us just kind of beating down with a very motley crew of white creatures. We're at 48 life. I think we got to keep this One Ring because we are going to... We're drawing too many cards with the One Ring now. It's actually too many cards. I mean, this isn't exactly Soul Sisters, but it's close enough. It's close enough. So we'll discard, I guess, creatures, since we're going to get our creatures back anyway. Discard, discard, discard. And discard. All right, opponent, do your worst. Would you be interested in playing this list tomorrow? Let me see your list, Sai, the celery guy. Opponent. Sign of Draco. Again. I mean, we can overload a Winds of Abandon if we have to, so... We're 1 planes away from Emiria-ing. Yeah, there was a Backstreet Boys. There was a Backstreet Boys themed week. I kind of forgot about that. But yes, if you watch any of the Super Leagues from the past, this is essentially the return of the Super Leagues with the new name. Melikaru, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is not a team one though. This is a solo Super League. Well, let's demolition field and demolition your breeding pool. You got to be one basic, right? One basic. Strip mine mode. Oh, two basics. Opponent. Responsible gaming with multiple basics. That's kind of like cheating. Well, let's play another Abiding Grace. And yeah, I guess we gotta, yeah, we'll just pass. We'll just pass for now. I don't think there's any way we can realistically lose this game. I think it's essentially impossible that we lose from here. Reanimate. It's possible we should have just killed the Cyanid Rocco and tried to force through as much damage as possible, but I don't think it matters. Free Jazz! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Opponent. Yeah, I guess timing out is a way we could lose. We're going to win in the course of like 2 turns. Now that we have Amiria going, this is very, very over. Opponent gets in, hits us. Because now we get to start reanimating these silly eagles, which are actually going to close out the game pretty quickly. So, Amiria, the Eagle of the North. 1 ring, a little bit of damage. So, Eagle of the North, it looks pretty janky, but when ETBs, our creatures get pumped and get first strike, so it actually lets us force through a bunch of damage here. I do love Amiria. Amiria is such a cool card. Such a good design. I love such a great Magic card. Original Zendikar. I think Original Zendikar might actually be underrated at this point. I think Original Zendikar might be kind of underrated. That set was so good. Yeah, we're just going to 2 mana wins. I don't think we need to overload it. Because I think you can't have more basics. Wow. Opponent, you are a very responsible 5-color domain player. I'm actually blown away how many basics our opponent has. Well, get in there. Opponent needs something or they're literally dead, right? Yeah, opponent is literally dead. Yeah, the deck's sweet. I enjoy this deck. Hey, what's up, Daddy Floss? How are you? Good to see you. The Chandra Tribal deck you played seems like an amazing choice. Ooh, Chandra Tribal. That was a sweet deck. Oh, it's so tough. I don't play many tournaments. I'm not a tournament player. The hardest part for me for playing tournaments is really just like figuring out a deck to play. Because I'm used to like, the way I play Magic is I'm just like trying to do my own thing. And I'm trying to win, but I'm trying to win in my own way. I'm not used to having to play a tournament and having to think about like, do I need to play a good deck? Normally that doesn't cross my mind. Like, oh, does my deck have to be good? It's like, I'm going to play whatever I want. And, whatever happens. Henny D. Benny, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoops here for you. Thank you. Ooh, Soul Hoarder. Soul Hoarder is that's such a cool card. Riddle me this, Seth. If a creature with negative power attacks me and is not blocked, why do I not gain life from it? Asking the important questions, Cat Cam fan. Doesn't it seem like it should work that way? That would actually be kind of funny. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance that I play this deck. What do you feel about this deck for the tournament? I know we're only like one game into it. But what do you think of this one? Could this be a reasonable option? So we're going to bring in Commander All-Star Hour of Revelation. Bring in another Wrath of God. Probably go down Reprieves. We might need Haywire Might. Because they're probably playing Leyline. We don't really want to get Leylined. Yargan is banned in Modern. Remember the Graz Reanimator deck? That deck actually worked way better than it should have. What else do we cut? Sweepers, One Rings, Removal, Abiding Grace, Ranger Captain, Skyclave, Temporary Lockdown. Maybe we can like cut a Thrapes? We almost have too much removal. More removal than we actually know what to do with. Jaguar, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Temporary Lockdown does hit quite a bit. Oh, we need the One Ring. The power of the ring. Ooh. All right, let's try this. Go. Is there a theme to this Super League? It's a modern Super League. Do we need Hour of Revelation? I mean, I think sweepers are good against our opponent's deck. I don't know if we need it, but I like the idea of it. Lucid with the $5 donation. I think what it comes down to is me not liking, I think what it comes down to me not liking about Magic lately is it feels like WotC tells us what to care about, from card design to products, instead of it being organic, community-based subculture like Sam said in his Foils history video. I think I would agree with that. I love Magic, so it's not a matter of me not liking Magic, but I do think that is one of the things about Magic which I dislike, if that makes sense. All right, opponent's got the Leyline draw. Maybe we should have brought in all of the Haywire Mites to deal with these Leylines. At least we got a Thraben Inspector. Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. I mean, I think for me, the easiest and biggest example of that is literally Commander. Like, Commander went from an organic community-based subculture, quite literally, to being a format with arcane signets and jeweled lotuses and fierce guardianships and tons of cards referencing Commander. I mean, we're getting... This one jumped out to me in the... So the Universes Beyond, and I guess there's like competing interests when it comes to some of these Universes Beyond sets, but like they're doing the Assassin's Creed set. In the Assassin's Creed set, there's this Zao whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to butcher so many names from this set, but there's this card that this is a modern set. They're putting Beyond boosters into modern. And if you read it, its ability specifically refers to when you're dealt damage by an assassin or a commander. So it's went from this organic subculture to something where Wizards is telling us to think about it in sets that are maybe not even designed for the format. So I would agree with the overall feelings of it. Although, I mean, here's the thing about Magic, in my opinion. Magic is so incredibly good that that is an issue. Magic is so incredibly good that even when Magic's bad, it's just better than everything else. As far as gaming goes, at least that's how it is for me. Like, Magic, like, its ceiling is so high that Magic during one of its like downswing eras is still just way better than any of the things competing with it. About it. But I can definitely feel your pain, for sure. Getting in with the 5-color flying first strike hexproof lifelink trampling vigilant sign of Draco. I mean, we have this Wrath of God. That's our plan to eventually deal with this. Territorial Kavu, also going to have all those keywords. We draw another Wrath of God. Will Windswept Heath go? We do need a land. Wait, so this is mana value 8, right? So Skyclave can actually hit it. Isn't the mana value on this 8 or no? Oh, it's the hybrid mana symbols don't count as okay. Wait, are you 100% chat? If I cast the Skyclave and I can't target anything, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust you, chat. Against my better judgment, I will trust you. 1, 2, 3, Skyclave apparition. Hey, it worked. Okay. Well done, chat. Well done. Okay. So, well, that threat is dealt with. Now our opponent's board is much less scary. Do we just sack this Kami? It could be worth it. Just fog it. The only problem is this Kavu can deal with it, but we have to. Yeah, we're gonna sag it. Do a little fogging. Fog meta confirmed real. I mean, so worst case, if we draw land, it's easy. We can just Wrath. Although we might not want to Wrath this turn anyway. It might be better to Path. Path and Clue token. All right, so we take 0. We'll see what our opponent does. Our opponent is going to get a 4/4 from the Leyline once we... Ooh. Well, sack the Clue. Land, please. Ooh, magic gods. I guess we could block and path our own creature to get a plains to be able to Wrath. I feel like our opponent has a counter. I feel like they have a counter. Can we get an update to 12 whack? It's been a minute since we've done some wagging. Yeah, it's about time for some more wagging. Yeah, I mean, Kami is essentially White Spore Frog. Oh boy. Oh boy. How dead are we? Blue creatures have hexproof. 5, 9, 13. Well, yeah, missing these land drops not ideal. Let's path the Skyclave. We're all in on this Wrath of God. We have 3 Wraths in hand. We just don't have the mana to cast them. And this deck has Burn. We're in a precarious position. Well, get the plains. Opponent gets a 4/4. I mean, we need to be able to cast the Wraths. So we need a land. I think the turning on our 2 Wrath of Gods is more important than pathing the Scion this turn. So we just gotta hope we can chump the illusion. The question's gonna be, they should probably exile this Kami. Now they're gonna loot. The question's gonna be, do they have a counter? They could definitely have like a stubborn denial. If they do, then we're pretty dead. Opponent discards a Leyline. Well, we're gonna block. Take 9. Well, let's see if they got a counter. Counter check time. Idea. Play a budget deck tomorrow. Then regardless of how you do, you can always say you did pretty good for running a budget deck. That is the beauty of budget magic. You get to grade on the budget scale. Nishoba Brawler. Oh, leaving a blue mana? That's pretty suspicious. That is pretty suspicious. Well, I mean, this is pretty much just the game. Is there any argument to one ringing here? Dan Wildfire, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. How are you, Doug? Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. You know what? I think we one ring. I think it actually is. I mean, if it gets countered, yeah, Stubborn Nile is going to counter either one of them, so it doesn't really matter. We're dead to a counter either way. All right, so gonna definitely bring in another Haywire Might. Go down. Maybe we go 1 Thraben Inspector. Engineered Explosives, no. Hallowed Midnight, no. I mean, I guess Reprieve could be okay. March of Otherworldly Light isn't horrible either. You know, let's go 1 Reprieve. Let's run it like that. We just got to be able to answer the Leylines. Do you think Leyline was 8 because of Reaper King? I think so. I mean, every format's Commander now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep this. We are going to keep it. We do have the Martyr. We have an answer to Leyline, I guess. Not a super fast answer. No Wrath. But we do have the Abiding Grace, too. This seems like a pretty good hand. So Moto Masters it's essentially the old Super Leagues under a new name. Format is modern. So we play tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon is our first round, and then we'll play again in like the following month. So you do 2 different dates guaranteed, and then it goes to like a top 8 type thing. So then it would depend on how we did as far as record and whatnot. What decks do you hope get a boost from Modern Horizons 3? I like that they are doing more energy cards. Yeah, the theme is interesting. Huh. Well, let's play the Martyr, play the Field of Ruin, get in with the Thrabe, so we can gain 12 at any time. We do need to hit our lands. Where's all of our Eagles? I wonder how this deck compares to Enchantress as far as lock decks go. So I feel like this is kind of a somewhat incidental lock deck. Like, the lock isn't the main focus, typically. Do we just gain 12 here? We need the option to crack the clue. We don't want to lose... Yeah. Well, let's do it. Reveal our hand. Gain 12, up to 32. Do we find a land? Yes. So we play a Myria. And... I mean, I guess we still just sack the clue for now. Now our opponent has the information, though, so they know exactly what we have in hand. Hey, Seth, I'm going to meet a friend for some Commander stuff. Have fun, Soul Sister people, and hope you kick butt tomorrow. Hey, Mother Frogger, thanks for swinging by. Tell your friend I said hello, or have fun with your friend at least. Opponent, Craig's Wooded Foothills. You can, of course, look at the top 8 and stuff. There's also great YouTubers out there making CDH content, like Play to Win. It seems like Kin and Modern Prodigy is one of the top decks at the moment. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if... So right now, I feel like one of the things we're kind of lacking on the site, if you go to... Wow, Tribal Flames to the face. Sure. Well, that undoes, like, a third of a Martyr of Sands. Hell, let's crack our clue. Find a land, which is pretty good. Opponent hits us. How do we play around Stubborn Denial? Oh, well, I guess we don't even have to. Well, okay, let's do the thing. Oh, there's a Haywire Might too. Well, play the Marsh Flats. Play Abiding Grace. Sack the Marsh Flats for a Temple Garden. Pass the turn. So now we can gain at least 9 a turn. And it's really even more than that because we can block too. Although I guess because of the Scion they have trample. So it doesn't really help too much right now. But I think one of the things we're kind of lacking on the site is CDH metagame. So that's something that I'm hoping will be coming soon. We've been talking about it because CDH just keeps growing and growing. Each opponent sacks an enchantment. Opponent. Oh yeah, we don't actually Haywire Might the sign, you're right. It only hits a non-creature artifacts or enchantments. If they find a Leyline, though, it does snipe that. I mean, we also have the Wrath in hand. Opponent hits us. We take it. Down to 13. Cracks. If our opponent ever goes fully empty-handed or close to it, then I think we just Wrath. We have a Myria, so we're going to be able to rebuild eventually. When our opponent probably can't. We also have the One Ring. Overgrown Tomb. And gets Jingatha. Huh. They have no blue. I mean, I guess we could just sack the Martyr and then Wrath. Sack the Martyr, gain 9 Wrath. I guess that's probably worth it. So go up to 22, untap. Draw planes. Hit you with the Thrabes. And yeah, let's just wrath them away. Wrath of God. Play the planes. And do we Haywire Might? Yeah, let's 1, 2, 3, 4. We still need a few more lands to get a Myria going. Pick Your Poison's so good. It's such a good sideboard card. Haywire Might go. Yeah, we had Abiding Grace actually going a moment ago, but they had the answer for it. But we do have 3 Abiding Graces for looping purposes. Ooh, Ranger Captain. Ranger Captain's always a good draw. I don't know what we're getting. Might be. I think we got one more Thrabes. Well, hit our opponent. Ranger Captain of Eos. For something. Hey, what's up, Gowanji? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see ya. So, chat, I mentioned this briefly earlier. Well, I guess it's a Martyr because we sideboard out the rest of the Thrabes. I mentioned this earlier. So, what do you think? When did you start playing Magic, chat? Just like, it doesn't have to be exact, but like roughly, I'm curious. How many, okay, let's do it this way. How many of you started playing Magic before 2020? Actually, maybe this is the worst way to do it. 1994. 1994? Oh my God, you guys are like from the very beginning. That's like, I am shocked at how many of you have been playing since the start. 2020 on the dot, 2017. 2008, 2017. Pass the turn. 2005, 2010. Okay, so a lot of people from the very beginning. A lot of people from the Mythic era boom around like 2009, 2010, 2011. And then a lot of people towards like a decade later. Interesting. So if you're someone who's been there from the very beginning, I probably know what you think about this to some extent. I'm very curious, though, to the iconic card thing. If you're one of those people that's saying, like, 2010, 2015, 2020, what for you is an iconic card? Like, what is the most iconic card? What's the iconic card of, you know, that era, this is the wrong term, but like the Zoomer era of Magic, like the last decade or so, because it's probably not Sarah Angel, it's probably not Shivan Dragon. Those are the cards that like I think of as iconic because they're the cards everyone talks about as iconic. But if you're someone that started playing, I realized this when we had a chat a while ago on stream about well, let's play this Ranger Captain. Grab another Martyr. Pass the turn. We had a chat a while ago on stream about music, and I brought up Nirvana, and so many people were like, who? And I was like, wait a minute, who's the Nirvana of your era then, of your generation? And a lot of people said it's like Taylor Swift or whatever. That was the like person who was, you know, all over the radio and like they remembered from their era. And I think Magic's the same. It collected company. Colossal Dreadmaw, from a meme perspective, it's probably Colossal Dreadmaw makes a lot of sense. From an actual like iconic perspective, that would be like saying that Visidrix or something is the most iconic card of all time. So I don't know if Colossal Dreadmaw could actually be the most iconic. Throne of Eldraine was my first draft event. You still see some people, okay, Shivan Dragon. So is Shivan Dragon still iconic? Is it still iconic if you started playing Magic in the last 10 years? Is Shivan Dragon still iconic? Maybe it still is. Maybe those old cards are they timeless? Maybe they're timeless. Maybe it doesn't matter when you started playing, you're going to have feelings about, Shivan Dragon or Sarah Angel. Maybe those cards just transcend time in space. Big Mama Emrakul? Emrakul's pretty iconic. Colossal Redmaw is Zoomer Crawlworm. Zoomer Crawlworm way better than Real Crawlworm. Real Crawlworm. It's funny how, like, a card like Crawlworm or Giant Spider is kind of iconic just because it was printed in the first set. Even though, like, gameplay-wise, it's not very strong. Bone Crusher Giant was an oh crap card, that's for sure. Oh, that's a card. There was a time when I really wanted that banned out of Standard. I think it would have made Standard, but wow, they ran out the Leyline? Really? Exile it? We're going to do this right now because we actually prefer our opponent to attack. We don't want to chump block. We want our opponent to attack so we can attack them back. So if this gets them to attack, it's worth it. Well, all right, new goal is to get enough planes to turn on Emiria. Also a reminder that our sponsor today, Card Kingdom, if you need some magical cards, you get them over at cardkingdom.com. Well, let's Field of Ruin on the Triome. Sheoldred's going to be iconic. Oh, Gary, Gray Merchant. I think it does depend to some extent when you started playing. I certainly have nostalgic feelings about Gary. The only question is, can we close out this game before we run out of time? That is my one and only concern. We are under 5 minutes now. We need 2 more planes. We're not really in any danger of dying. But this Jengatha is holding down the fort for our opponent. Flooded Strand. Yeah, I mean, we will just keep passing. Once we turn on the Emiria, we should be good. You know what? I don't think this deck's playing Tidebinder, but we're just going to crack this right now. Get the Portico. Plains is actually good. Well, okay, Solitude's also worth keeping. That deals with the Jagatha. Ooh, the Khans Dragons. Yeah, Gary's a good one. Especially, yeah, Gary's like the way that a Giant Spider or like a common from back in its era is iconic. I think Gary is like the equivalent in 2024 or whatever, like this era. I literally have a full wall of every art of Stormcrow. Oh, that's super cool. Where do you get the prints from, Cat Cam fan? That's one thing I feel like I need to get more prints. Ooh. Wow. Okay, another Leyline of the Guild Pact. Okay. I mean, we can Skyclave it, but that is a little awkward. Our opponent is putting up a fight. And the Scion of Draco. What? Okay. Our opponent has definitely not given up. Well, we get to untap. We get to Skyclave. To deal with a Leyline. And then, once again, pass the turn. We need 1 more planes to win this game. Ooh, Nulamog's another. Nulamog's tough. I think of the original Eldrazi as very iconic. I don't know, are the new Eldrazi iconic? Maybe they are too. I guess if you're someone who plays a lot of Arena, you probably know Nulamog way more than Ulamog the Infinite Gyre. Opponent with a big attack. We're going to take it. Down to 14 for now. Well, we will untap. Ooh, Winds of Abandon. The only problem is they could just counter it. I think we just pass. We're just gonna pass for now. I think we're on the Solitude plus Martyr of Sands plan. We can get in with the Ranger Captain. Leyline binding down to 1 card in hand. Going after the Ranger Captain, which... Sure. We'll get that back in the future. All right. Well, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. We're still good. We just gotta not clock out. Oh no, I actually gotta pay attention for a minute because we're gonna time out if I don't pay more attention. Opponent. I don't think they should have a counter for Solitude, hopefully. So we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Solitude. To snipe the Scion of Draco. And then we can block Jingatha. Sack the Martyr. Gain 9. Can we win in 3 minutes and 13 seconds? That is the only question. We need a plains. For want of a plains, opponent passes. The 1 ring is great. Cast it. They could definitely have a stubborn denial. Wow. Resolves. Draw. Solitude. Combat. Hit ya with the Solitude. Opponent takes it down to 9. Play another Martyr. Pass the turn. We've just gained so much life. Yeah, good question about the 1 ring art. We were talking about it earlier. It's pretty far out. Oh no. Oh no. Well, okay. So that does mean Amiria is not gonna be good. Ugh. Yeah, that's awkward. I mean, hopefully that's fine. Opponent passes. I mean, we still have the 1 ring, so we're winning on that axis. We just gotta win in time. Can we win in time? 2 minutes, 38 seconds. We should be able to. How many ways do we have to get rid of the Rest in Peace? I think we have 1 Haywire Might. Windswept Teeth. Oh, there's our plains. Now that it's too late to matter because of a rip. Windswept Teeth. Crack it. Thin the deck. I mean, I guess we can just overload the Winds of Abandon. I feel like they would have countered the 1 ring if they could. Yeah, we're just going to go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Winds of Abandon. Overload. You got the Stubborn Denial? No. All right. Board is Wrath, and we get to hit our opponent. Oh, we almost got it. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. I mean, we get to hit him for 6. So opponent has 3 basics, apparently. I guess they could still have more. They only had 2 creatures. Well, we're going to attack. We're going to swing with everything. If they can kill the Skyclave and get a blocker, that's actually pretty good, but... Opponent, down to 3. Well, this is it, opponent. It all comes down to this. You better find something. Opponent adapts. Yeah, I think we're good. 2 minutes is enough time that we should be fine. Yeah, nothing to reanimate. 1 ring. Triggers. We will draw a few cards. Demolition Field. Well, play the Demolition Field. And Demolition Field, your blue source. Do you still have basics? Puntologist! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Hey, Seth, I just wanted to say, I love what you're doing, and your deck building skills are incredible. Is there any chance... Oh, we finally got the strip mine. So now I think we just attack with the Solitude. No reason to risk it. That's still lethal. And opponent, dead. Well, that was a really good performance for this deck. We kind of just gained a bunch of life and picked him apart. Hey Seth, I just wanted to say I love you, what you're doing in your deck building, incredible. Is there any chance we'll see you with the Card Market boys like Tomer and Krim? Oh, like actually over in Europe with the Card Market boys? So I've done stuff with the Card Market boys. I'm just the traveling part is that's the part that gets me. So maybe someday. It's more just like it's so much traveling. Traveling, I don't really like traveling. I'm not really built for traveling, and I always feel like, I'm spending so much time on these planes doing nothing. So I don't know. It's definitely, I'm sure I will do stuff with the Card Market crew because they are awesome and they're crushing it. As far as actually going, they tried to get me to go over there when Krim went over, but I said I'll do stuff from my house if you want me to. If there's stuff I can do from balmy upstate New York, sure. But yeah. Do we keep this one lander? I think we keep this one lander. We essentially have 25 lands, and we get a clue, and this hand's pretty good. The European tour. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it happens. Maybe it happens someday. Going to GP Amsterdam, or not GP, Magic on Amsterdam. The idea of it is kind of appealing, but that's kind of the same issue. It's just like such a big long trip. But that would be the way to do it, is just do a European trip and like go to a Magic Con, see Vince, go to Card Market, see Tomer, see Phil. Just like do the European swing. Although like it's kind of worked out that like half the Goldfish crew is in Europe now. So we actually have a nice little split where you have Tomer and Phil and Niantic over in Europe. Then you got me and Richard and Krim in the US. So maybe it works out best and they can cover the European stuff. Yeah, Card Market, they've been killing it. They do a really good job. I love those guys. Yeah, once the Omen Pass opens, did I decide on a deck? Not exactly iCarly. No. Icarus. that makes way more sense. Not exactly Icarus. I'm actually like kind of thinking maybe this one. I don't know. Okay, so chat, would you be disappointed if this was the deck I played? Is this spicy enough, iCarly? My little niece used to watch that show all the time. Hey, we drew a plane, so it's actually kind of excellent. Let's play a Haywire Might and a Martyr of Sands and pass the turn. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Martyr right now. I was considering the Leyline deck, but I don't think the Leyline deck's good enough. I love Mono Red Prison, but I don't really like the current builds, and I don't know if I have enough time to like really build and test a new one from the ground up. So I'm leaning towards this one currently. Okay, opponent's going to scam their Ragavan. Sure. Scam away, Ragavan. Scam away. The monkey returns. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty Saffron Olive deck. Thoughtseize. Oh, they're definitely going to take the One Ring. I feel like this is a pretty Saffron Olive deck. It's Soul Sisters-y. It's got a Myria in it. Oh, they take the Reprieve. So they must be planning on just Bowmastering. Well, play the land. And how do we play around this Ragavan? Can we play around the Ragavan? Hey, Seth. Been a while since I'm doing this stream. How are you? What are your thoughts on Psychic Fog? Or Psychic Frog. I feel like Psychic Frog... Oh, I'm very torn on it. I think it's powerful. I think it's powerful for sure. exactly the best way to take advantage of it, that's a little bit more up for debate. Yeah, let's crack the clue. Another Martyr. All right, well, I mean, I guess we just pass and start doing Martyr sack things. So I think my main so it's really powerful. Right? You can pay this for 2, discard your hand and make it like a 2-mana 6 power flyer or something on turn 3. And it's +1/+1 counters, so it sticks around. So I think it's really strong. It does get got by like a Fatal Push and Solitude. So I don't know if it can be like, I think it's really good, but it's a creature that dies to removal. So it's as good as a creature that dies to removal, I think, can be in 2024, which is still really good, but I don't think it's like a Grief or Fury or, Renin 6, like a format defining card. Does Psychic Frog and Upheaval revive the Psychotog deck? Maybe. We're going to have to try it. We're going to have to rebuild one of Magic's most famous archetypes from the early years. There was a time when Psychotog was land. There was a time when Psychotog was considered to be one of the best, let's Skyclave. What do we hit? Do we get rid of Fable or Ragavan? It's actually a very tough choice. Yeah, I think Fable might be correct. Like, Ragavan, they could easily have another one in hand. It's legendary. Plus, we can block it. Martyr is pretty good at block sacking, so hopefully we can avoid getting hit by it. We would block with the Skyclave if we get the chance. It's kind of annoying to see people talking about how it dies to Fatal Push, but no one saying how it doesn't die to Bowmaster. Ooh, okay, that's awkward. Okay. How about a land? How about a Magic the Gathering land card? Could really use land number 4. Well, we're gonna chump the monkey. Land for the One Ring would be really big. I mean, not dying to Bowmasters is certainly an upside. If we don't draw a land here, we're kind of in a pickle. Yeah, Pro Tour just didn't Fable win Pro Tours in like every format within a year or something? And like Modern, Pioneer, Standard, something like that. It even sees Legacy play. Does Dice Doomblade meme get upgraded with Fatal Push? I mean, the thing is, so I know whenever those conversations come up, it's always an interesting topic. Like, yes, Dice to Doomblade is a meme, but if you look at Psychic Frog, like, kind of the gimmick is discard your hand to make me big. And there's a big difference between, oh, my Tarmogoyf died to a Fatal Push, and oh, I discarded 5 cards to make Psychic Frog into a, 6/7 flyer, and then they Fatal Push. Because if I kill your Tarmogoyf, the game continues. If you pitch your hand to Psychic Frog, and then they Fatal Push, you kind of just lose the game on the spot. So I think it's that, like, high risk, high reward aspect of it. So I think that's why removal is a concern. Just the formatting of, like, for me to do my thing, I want you to discard my your hand or a big chunk of your hand. That makes it especially risky, I think, compared to some other creatures that don't ask you to discard your hand for them to do things. Come on, deck. Land. Okay, Demolition Field. That is a land. So we will play a One Ring, get a little protection, draw a card while there's no Bowmasters. Thraben Inspector. Well, pass the turn. We're kind of good. I think we're kind of good. Yeah, but I think Psychic Frog definitely has potential. It'll definitely be fun to try, like, a Psychotog Upheaval deck with it in Modern. And plus, remember, you don't have to go in on it. I think Modern's really good at filling the graveyard, and even a 2-drop 1/2 flyer even a 2-drop 1/2 that can gain flying by exiling some fetches to your graveyard and is going to draw you a card when it deals combat damage, that's a pretty powerful effect. So I think that how it's actually going to play is the discard a card to grow it thing will be something that's kind of fringe. It's kind of like, I want to stock my graveyard, I'm reanimating stuff. So you're playing a deck that wants to be discarding, or it's like, it's in the late game, you're tapped out, I'm going to try to kill you. Most of the time, I think, you play it more fairly, where you're just like chipping in, drawing cards, and like generating value that way, where you're setting things up. That's what I would imagine, at least. Yeah, I think the new Emrakul is busted. I think it is. I think you have to be in a specific deck, but I think that there will be decks where the new Emrakul is pretty busted. Well, let's see what we find. So 1 ring, lose some life. Kind of worried about Bowmasters. Oh, another 1 ring. Well, all right, not that worried. Boom, draw 2. You got a Bowmaster? If you got it, you got it. They do not got it. Well, play a Plains. 1 ring is such a messed up Magic card. 1 ring. Would you like to kill us? I can't feel too bad because our opponent's playing a bunch of Modern Horizons 2 Rakdos scam cards, so I don't feel too bad in this case, but it is wild that we're just like chaining together 1 ring so we can never die. Yeah, I guess we play the Thrabes. Get in there, Thrabes. Eventually we'll find a Wrath. Yeah, I mean, I think Psychic Frog's really good. What do you all think of the Emrakul? So the only problem with playing Emrakul in a traditional Madness deck is, yes, I think it will be Madness. That's where Emrakul is broken, is when you could Madness it. 6 colorless is a big ask, though. So I don't think you can just throw this in, like, Asmo Food with Cookbook or something. I think you're going to have to really build around 6 colorless mana. It's doable. There's a cost to it, playing a bunch of Pain lands, playing Tron lands, whatever, playing colorless lands. But I think that's what's going to make it busted. When you were getting this card for 6 mana, it is a incredibly strong card. It's like a game ending. I think there's ways to do it. Yeah, I think it'll be doable. So opponent gets a Kroxa, gets another Kroxa. We are running out of time. Oh, they didn't get a red source. Okay, not another Kroxa. Oh, they're doing it off the treasure, I see. Raccoon Theater. Do raccoons even go to the theater? Legacy Madness. Ooh, 8 post Madness and Legacy. Well, alright. We will discard a Mistfall Plains, I guess. A Wrath of God would be sweet. A Wrath of God would be sweet. We do get to draw a bunch of cards. We got the Martyr still. Opponent gets in, makes a treasure. Hopefully they didn't find the Bowmasters. That would be annoying. Well, we stay at 16. We untap. We lose a life. We could always just draw another 1 ring and keep doing that. Well, Solitude can deal with the Kroxa. Well, that's 1 ring. Ranger, Captain of Eos, in a Plains. So. How do we not die? Let's play the land. Play a... do we crack the clue? Let's crack the clue. It's a Plains. Well, play a Martyr of Sands. And pass the turn. All right, Martyr. All right, Martyr. It's up to you. It's up to you to keep us alive. About it. Mountain. I mean, I guess we could evoke a Solitude. Wow. All right, they're going to draw it. We do need to deal with this Castle Aquaine at some point. Opponent draws. Goes to combat. Swings. Triggers. We drop to 12. We will block. Sack the Martyr. Gain 9. So we actually gain back everything. All the damage we're going to take here. We gain 9 and take 9, so we end up at 12 again. Oh, we have 2 Wrath of God in the deck. If we can only find a Wrath of God opponent, going to pass. Well, we take our beats down to 10. Ranger Captain of Eos. Well, draw some cards. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I say we... Actually, let's do it this way. I think what we do... Because we want to cycle this to get a land. Let's blow up the Castle Lockway. Get rid of that. Grab a Plains. And then we can cycle the Eagles to get a Plains. And then play the One Ring. So cycle the Eagles of the North to get a Plains. And then One Ring number 3 for some protection. And yeah, pass the turn. Hey Seth, I'm building the Massacre Girl deck for Standard. Seems too cool not to, by the way, in paper. Oh, it's really fun. It's really fun, Paladin. Massacre Girl's it's such a cool card. It's a really fun, like, unique take on a mono black mid-range deck. So I hope you have a lot of fun with it, because I really enjoyed. Ooh, oh, that's an Amiria. Okay. I mean, so now if we can just stabilize, Amiria will take this game over. Amiria will do it. Opponent attacks, treasures, Croxus. And we can gain a bunch of life with Martyr. We might be good. A Wrath would make me feel very good about where we're at. But even without a Wrath, I think we got a decent shot. All right, discard the Thrabes. Take 0, because the One Ring's kind of insane. Opponent passes. The biggest thing that ruined Mardu Pyromancer Mega Magikarp was the loss of Faithless Looting really hurt that deck. Faithless Looting was like the key card or one of the key cards in that deck. Well, let's draw with the One Ring. Oh! Okay. So, Martyr of Sands. Winds of Abandon. Not exactly Wrath of God, but close enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll gain just a little life. Gain just a casual 15. Back up to 24. And then it is overloading time. Winds of Abandon. Overload it. Out of here, Rakdos. Yeah, Faithless Salvaging. Honestly, I think that Faithless Looting, I think that it might be unbanned. I think it might be unbanned at some point. I think the power level of the format has increased enough, and the decks that would take advantage of it have come down in popularity enough. Like, Dredge isn't a thing. Pyromancer isn't a thing. I guess it would probably be pretty busted in Murktide, but Murktide even has, like, fallen down from best deck to, like, tier 1, but not best deck in the format. I think it could be unbanned. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's brutal. Opponent's gonna Fatal Push their own Croxa. This deck would be very annoying to play against. It would be very annoying to play against. We'll discard a Ranger Captain of Eos. Wait. No, that's not gonna do it. Huh? Wait. What in the world? What happened? How did Croxton not end up exiled? I'm very confused. But, okay. There's a Crox in the graveyard. Oh, I see what they did. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. So they killed it with Fatal. So they, not dead after all, killed it with Fatal Push. It died, came back, wasn't escape and died, ended up in the graveyard. All right, that makes sense. I was missing the Fatal Pushing. I was like, why would you not dead after all into an exile effect? That doesn't do anything. But yeah, that makes way more sense. All right, so opponent gets in with the monkey, steals a land. I mean, we're at 20 with a ring though, and we have Amiria about to go, and opponent's got one card. This one I think is over. We'll discard a Ranger Captain for now. Ragavan, pick it up. Sooner or later, they are going to get us with a Bowmaster, but that's fine. Wow, another one. One ring. Draw. Demolition Field. Blow up your land. Grab a Plains, our last one. Amiria. And Winds of Abandon. The One Ring is incredibly unfair. An opponent gives it up. The One Ring... What do you think about the One Ring? Should the One Ring be banned? On one hand, when you're the one going off with the One Ring, it's actually kind of fun to just have all the cards and it feels unbeatable. On the other hand, it feels bad. Like, I imagine from our opponent's perspective, every time they were like playing their Magic and getting as close to dead, we'd just be like, oh, One Ring, Legend Ruler One Ring with a Run Ring, Legend Ruler One Ring. Restricting it would be a very good solution. I wonder if what I perceive to be the popularity of the restricted list in Timeless on Arena, I wonder if that softens Wizard's stance on restricting cards. Because I feel like WotC has traditionally said, it's too complicated to restrict cards. We don't want to deal with it. It's not going to be a good thing. But it seems like it's working in Timeless. And it works in Vintage. Maybe that's the way to go. And the other upside from WotC's perspective is, I'm not even sure if they can ban the One Ring. Hopefully this isn't the case, but I could imagine a world where, like, whatever contract you sign with these Universes Beyond sets, like, I don't know, like, it has something in there about, like, well, for the next year we won't ban the cards, or like, it seems like the kind of thing that could be in there. Like, I could see IPs being nervous that WotC is gonna like use their thing and then just ban it, and then they're not gonna get the publicity that they want out of it. So it doesn't seem completely impossible that there could be restrictions on like banning Universes Beyond cards. So yeah, a restricted list would also get around that, right? Like, the restricted list would get around that issue because the card's still legal. It's still there. You're still getting your advertising out of it. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to try. I'd be down with trying it. When I was playing Historic on Arena after Lord of the Rings came out, my Blink deck with Skyclave just made the One Ring not that big of a threat at all. Yeah, there are answers to it. That is true. Although, even if you answer it, you still get the protection for a turn. So even the best answers are not always like that clean. All right, so we're gonna go down Reprieves, I think. Auric Champion, amazing. Haywire Might can get a... Haywire Might can deal with Fable before it flips, which is pretty good. Maybe the... do we want to EE? Yeah, all right, let's try it like that. I think the ring was originally equipment. There's a very interesting video, I think it was from Canister, who like worked on the set. Watsy brought in a few like pro players to help work on Modern Horizons 2. And they talked about in specific, well, good thing we have the Skyclave. They talked about in specific how the ring was initially this like janky, unplayable equipment, but Watsy wanted some number of cards to be modern playable. So after they had the pros look at it, they changed the design a ton from like some janky, unplayable equipment to what it is today. Hey Seth, check out my doppelganger deck. I thought it would be terrible, but it's not embarrassing and it's been incredibly fun. Not embarrassing, but incredibly fun is, I mean, that's my kind of deck. That's exactly my kind of deck. How has Outrageous Robbery been? I've had a couple people on Arena. I haven't built an Outrageous Robbery deck. I've had a couple people cast it against me. It seemed all right. I haven't seen anyone play it in a shell like this, though, that can really maximize it. Yeah, it does look super sweet. I mean, Doppelgang, it might be my favorite card from Murders at Karlov Manor. It's close, at least. Do the Voidwalker. The opponent's doubling up. What happens with double exile effects, chat? I guess I should know this rule. What is the official the official ruling on this? So our opponent has 2 replacement effects. Do I get to choose, or do they get to choose which replacement effect applies? I guess we just take a plains. About it. Voidwalker. Oh, so they're still going to get cards with the Voidwalker? That's not ideal. Demolition Field. Well, let's play a plains, and I guess we might as well play a Martyr. Like, if they end up getting a Martyr under the Voidwalker, that's kind of fine. And then next turn we can start answering things, maybe. What do you think of my Chromium list? I got inspired by your Control Commander Clash. Let me see, Guani. Opponent. Getting in with the Voidwalker. Yeah, the 4-way Control Commander Clash, my god. It was actually a really fun game for like the first 2 hours. The last 2 hours was more like, a grind. It got grindy. Chromium. Chromium's a pretty sweet Control Commander. I like the Psychic Frog edition. Oh, Cataclysm. Brutal. Yeah, that looks like a... Oh, wow. 30 lands. 30 lands scares me a ton. But I guess if this... is this a CDH deck? You do have a lot of fast mana. So if we're going like... This looks kind of CDH-y to me. Okay, I guess that makes sense for a CDH deck. Yeah, I mean, that looks like a pretty solid, like, close to CEDH, if not actually CDH, Chromium deck. That looks sweet, though. Alright, so what are we doing now? We don't really want to lose our Martyr. Or maybe it doesn't matter. Let's go to combat. Get in with the Martyr. Would it be worth playing a Sunken Ruins or 2 for the land destruction lands? The only problem is it doesn't work with Emiria. That's kind of the cost to Emiria. So yes, it would be good with the Demolition Fields and Fields of Ruin, but I think you really can't afford to play non-plains lands and play Emiria. So I think you'd have to cut Emiria, which I'm not sure it's worth cutting Emiria. Outrageous Tyrannosaurus! Hiya! Late, no problem. Good to see you, Outrageous Tyrannosaurus. Now let's... How much do we care about this Martyr? Do we really care? It's only getting 9 right now. Well, let's play a Demolition Field. And I think we just wait. Let's just wait. Let's just pass. I think that's fine. Hey Seth, I love the splendid Reclamation deck recently. I played against a similar spill in Arena, but instead of Nissa, Slogurk, I had Shigeki and Kazium Confluence and Virtue of Strength, and some sort of combo involving Invasion of Arcavios. Ooh. So a lot of that stuff sounds familiar because it was stuff we played in like the cave deck. So like being able to loop Kazium Confluence with Shigeki and whatnot. I have not seen the Invasion of Arcavios plan. That's a pretty sweet idea. Well, all right, let's Demolition Field. This is your window if you're going to kill our Martyr. We do not currently have a mana. All right, so opponent bolts the Martyr. We blow up a land, we get a Plains. We untap Eagles of the North. Well, 1, 2. Man, we're kind of dying, aren't we? This is a fast clock. Oh, we need a Wrath. We need a Wrath. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's Skyclave. Get rid of a Voidwalker. Play a Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. I mean, we can Ranger Captain to get a Martyr. It's not a great Martyr, but it is a Martyr. Yeah, opponent is stacking up the Graveyard Hate. None of it affects them either. They can still do their stuff. It's all one-sided. Could Pioneer Land Destruction be an actual thing? I played against it. Ew. That's not good for us. I played against it with my 11 basic deck, and I had plenty of lands, but my opponent beat me with a Chandra. I think it could work it as a control deck. I think it could. I think it's actually a lot better than people probably think. When you hear Pioneer Land Destruction, you think, oh, that's got to be horrible. It's actually pretty good, though. Well, let's get a Lush Portico, see if we can surveil into something meaningful. Definitely not in a Myria at the moment. Untap. Not a land. Oh, it is a land. Well, Field of Ruin. This is looking kind of bad. I imagine our opponent's got... Oh, do they not have the basics? Oh, opponent. So it's so funny how much more responsible modern players are than Pioneer players. Pioneer players, if they're playing Rakdos, they're like, one basic. One basic, it's good. It's good. It's fine. But modern players actually play basics. I think my budget decks are pretty good against the Pioneer Land Destruction. I just don't have the wildcards for many basics. Yeah, I mean, that goes a long ways. Opponent combat attacks with both. I mean, we're getting to the Wrath or Bust stage of the game. Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to hit a Wrath. That's pretty much it. Either we hit a Wrath or we go to game 3. Block and block. Opponent gets back their Dork. I guess a One Ring would normally be good, but it's not that good against Shieldred. Eagle's not going to save us. Thin the deck with the cycling. Untap. Martyr. The saddest Martyr. All right. Yep. I'm playing mono green Case of the Locked House in Standard with monkey creature enchantments and lands. It's hilarious when it goes off. Ooh, that sounds sweet. Oh, 1 in 1 buy. What does your deck list look like? Do you have a list? I'd actually like to see it. That sounds pretty sweet. Now, they have so much Graveyard Hate. Let's go down on Abiding Grace. Abiding Grace is great if there's not Graveyard Hate, but if our opponent's just playing a pile of Graveyard Hate, which apparently they are, it's going to be a lot less great. All right, run it like that. I mean, do you have it someplace where you have a link? Oh, from Arena? So if you go to Arena, my Arena's not open. If you go to your deck list page on Arena, down at the bottom, there's a export button. if you just click export, it'll give you, essentially, it'll copy and paste the entire list. And then I don't know if you use like a deck list site, but you could actually just copy and paste the actual text into the chat and that would work. Or you could always put it on Goldfish, copy and paste it into like a Goldfish page or whatever you use for tracking deck lists and do it that way. But that's probably the easiest way. Here's my current doppelgang list I'm running, Seth. Would love to hear some opinions on the sideboard. Let me take a look. Well, all right, we'll keep this. Our lands are gonna be good. We got a Wrath of God, as long as we don't get scammed, which we might get scammed, but that's fine. Doppelgang, eh? Oh. Johan Leafar, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. That looks really sweet. I like it. 33 months. Oh, that's been so long. Thank you so much. Salt Priest for this 78th month. Woo-hoo to you. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Yeah, that looks sweet. I like the idea of having a bit more removal. World Soul Rage looks fun. But yeah, that looks super fun, Dempsey. I like it. Well, let's Plains and Thrabes. Go. I played Dowsing Device, Poetic Ingenuity deck in Standard. Ooh, it's pretty fun. Opponent, all right, not scamming us. Not getting scammed is good. Skyclave, I'll play the land. Get in with the Thrabes. Probably just do a bit of land cycling here. Hit you past the turn. I saw someone play a Poetic Device deck, and it looked really cool. But I haven't really tried yet. Gert Locker handing up gift subs to It Was Me, Gio Filippo, Croso Chrysaris, Perpetual Mutation, and Neuromantic. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. And Gert Locker, thank you for handing them out. Big scoop cheer for y'all. Thank you. Potent. Cracks of Blood. Are they dashing Ragavan? They could dash Ragavan. Do the Void Waka. Well, let's Plane Cycle. And also Plane Cycle. Yeah, we'll just get normal planes. Grab all the planes. Oh, right. It probably was you. Yeah. I never see anyone play those cards, so I remembered it just because Poetic Ingenuity is just not a card I see anyone play. And it looked, actually, if I remember right, if it was that match, I feel like you got off to like a kind of a faster start, and I was thinking, oh no, this might actually be a problem. But then I think I drew like an answer for it or something and was able to stabilize and win. But I remember it started looking scary with like hasting stuff in, and it definitely was you. Who else is playing Dowsing Device with Poetic Ingenuity? It had to be. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so we get a bunch of lands. But yeah, the idea of the deck's super cool. Winds of Abandon. Well, play the land. And I think we just Skyclave. How many basics does our opponent have? Do we remember? Is it 3? Did we ever run them out? I don't think we've run them out all the way. I feel like they have at least 3. I don't know if we actually ran them out though. Oh, there's a deck. Let me see it. 0-1 by. Azus has many juries. All right, let me do it this way. Fable of the Mirabreaker. All right, so I'm just gonna put this in a deck page so we can see it a little easier. Oh wow, that did not work at all. Courageous Vorak, what is Phosphorus Vine Wall? I'm not. I mean, this is definitely a spicy deck. You're playing a lot of cards that I have not really seen too many people play. That looks sweet though. All right, let's see. So Fable's kind of an issue. Well, it's a Skyclave. Huh. Well, let's get in with the Skyclave. If our opponent wants to block with the Goblin, I think we're okay with that. Opponent does not. Well, 1, 2, 3. Skyclave. Snipe the Fable. Play the Plains. And pass the turn. Yeah, Case of the Locked Hothouse seems like a super cool card. Opponent gets in with the Goblin. Yeah, let's... Actually, no, we'll just take it. Sure. Sure. Down to 18. Wouldn't mind finding a One Ring. We have not found a One Ring this... the last 2 games, actually. The game where we had the One Ring, it went super well. Well, let's Lush Portico. Martyr of Sands. I mean, that's probably worth it still. Go to combat. Do some attacking. If our opponent has a Fatal Push here, it's kind of bad, but it doesn't feel like they do. All right, opponent's going to block. That's kind of fine. Well, I think we just sack the clue. Do a Bowmaster check. And Martyr of Sands. Hey, Seth, here's a mono blue Clue Commander deck. Ooh. I have not seen many Clue Commander decks yet. Senator Peacock, eh? Well, chat, what do you think? What do you think as far as tomorrow? I'm leaning towards running this deck. I think this might be the one. So the Leyline deck, I think it's too inconsistent for a tournament. Mono Red Prison. Remember, there's 2 months of this. So even if we don't get to a deck this time, I could always play it next time in the second round. I'm leaning towards playing, I think we're going to play Martyr. I think Martyr is like spicy enough and unique enough that it fits and it works with for us. But I also think it's like, I enjoy playing it. I've played it a few times, so I like kind of have an idea what it's up to, and it seems like relatively competitive. So I think this might be the choice. This is last chance to talk me out of it. Last chance to talk me out of or give me other ideas. Torrens Monument. Oh, Torrens Monument I haven't done anything with in a bit. Oh, another Martyr. Well, 1, 2. We actually don't even want to thin our deck. Let's just play the Martyr. Play the Martyr, pass the turn. And Manitize. So the problem with Manitize is this. So when I was putting the list together and thinking about it, my thought was to play a Manitize. The problem is, the deck lists are known. So our opponents are going to know going into it what's in our deck list. And I think that Manitize loses a ton of value when your opponents know it's there. I think a huge part of the value of Manitize is the surprise, that no one expects the Manitize aspect of it. But if your opponents get to look at your deck list ahead of time and they're like, oh, Manitize, it's kind of easy to play around and kind of hard to get anyone with. I run a deck in Modern with Delny, Heartless Summoning, Grief Solitude, Nazgul, and Ephemerate. Ooh, that sounds super spicy, I'm Ray of Light. I like all those cards. I haven't tried playing them all together, but I like all those cards. This is going to be interesting. Okay, sure. So opponent griefs. They take the Winds of Abandon. Oh, wow. They actually had the scam on like turn 20. Okay. Opponent scams the grief. So we're going to lose both of our wraths? Oh, we might actually be in trouble now. We might actually be in trouble now. Oh, scam. Silly, silly scam. Doing silly scam things. What do you think of the possibility of, Grief coming to Arena? We know that Solitude's coming. I think that Grief would be a huge negative. Same with, I mean, it might be okay for Timeless, but I think it would be, the archetype of scam is just so, it's such a tiresome archetype to play against. I'm a little concerned about that. Well, okay. Well, the One Ring is a good draw. We will play the One Ring. We will get protection. We did lose 2 Wraths, which is kind of a bummer, but go to combat. Get in with the Skyclave. Hello, Pro. How are you? We have a new donation from Jaguar. $3 donation. Hey, Seth. Good luck tomorrow with the Super League. Would you be able to check out my Explorer list? Yes, I would love to. Let's pass. Still a little nervous about Bowmasters. All right, let's upkeep. Let's upkeep draw. Wow, they really have it? No! Wow! The sideboard cards are coming up for the scam deck, and yeah, we might be in trouble. They scammed 2 Wraths and had casted to the fire to deal with the One Ring. And yeah, I think, and they can also, yeah, I think we're just dead. Talk about scam. Our opponent essentially just has us locked with Grief, right? Like, they can just Reflections this Grief every draw step until the game ends. So I'm pretty sure that's just the game. Brutal. Yeah, they need to do something about show and tell. I have literally zero faith in Wizards' ability to manage competitive formats. Really, literally zero. I mean, is 0 too harsh? 5%? I don't know. Some very low number. I do not trust WotC that they have the willpower or the desire or the anything, yeah, to actually manage competitive formats in let's do one more. I just don't have their, well, 60 card formats, competitive 60 card formats. I just don't have the, I don't have any faith in it. We've seen it with Alchemy, we've seen it with Modern, we've seen it with Pioneer, we've seen it with Standard. Time and time again, the choices WotC makes are kind of questionable, and then they realize they're questionable, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do it differently, but then, I don't know, someone gets fired or something, and they forget that they were gonna do things differently. So all that to say, I agree about show and tell. I think that WotC, what they need to do is they need to add answers to it, to the format. Force of Negation, I could even get behind Force of Will, maybe. I think Force of Negation's the safest one, but they should be putting out a Timeless anthology like yesterday with the answers to support the format. I don't know, maybe Modern Horizons 3 will do it, but I do agree that they either need, they're going to have to do something about show and tell. I like that Timeless is a place for busted cards. I like that anything goes in the format, but show and tell has broken the format in a way that none of the other broken cards have, I would say. So I'm actually, I am concerned about that, and concerned about the current state of Timeless, because show and tell, last time I played, I was playing against show and tell more than 50% of my matches. Like, it was pretty consistently best of 1, best of 3. Like, it's the show and tell meta. In the decks that you play against that are not show and tell are decks that are like specifically built, like the Taxes deck, to try to fight against show and tell. So I think a restriction of show and tell, either print cards to fix it, like Force of Negation, or just restrict it and move on. I'm glad they did it, right? I'm glad they added show and tell to the format. I would rather have them add the powerful cards and then restrict them than not add them or pre-ban them. So I don't begrudge them for taking that chance. They should take those chances. But when it becomes clear that it's not working out, you gotta cut your losses. You gotta cut your losses and move on. Been watching you on YouTube for several months. Excited to make it to a stream. Hey, welcome, that guy Larry. Good to have you. Welcome to the stream. I mean, there's a lot of people probably want to Thoughtseize or Liliana Veil or Metamorphose banned in Modern, and nothing ever came of it, and Modern hasn't broken hard till Modern Horizons came around. That's true. I mean, Grief equal 4 mythic wildcards is like 12 US dollars. Makes sense to them. So I'm no good at marketing or decks, but I enjoy your content. I drive for 12 hours a day, but I thought up a brew for you Kaya would love to take a look at. Ooh, let me see. I believe I have your deck pulled up, Jaguar. I have so many decks. Which one was yours, Jaguar? I have a Clue deck here. I have a Kaya Incubate deck. Oh, I see, the Scissors deck. Yeah, I think Scissors, I found Case of the Filch Falcon to be a very powerful card. I think that Case is a strong enough effect to really make a deck like Scissors a thing again. So yeah, this is I'm excited to try a deck like this. How has Case felt to you? But for me, yeah, I think I've seen enough of Case of Filch Falcon and played enough with it that I think that's the card that can make the archetype work. Swooping Lookout. Maybe it's good. I guess it has Flying and Vigilance, which is nice. Whenever I see this card, I always think, is that really a playable card? But I guess it makes sense if you're going to turn it into like a 5/5 or something. But yeah, that looks sweet, Jaguar. I like it. And another Voidwalker. So many Voidwalkers. Well, cycle the Eagle. Grab a Plains. Opponent. Passes. I mean, we can just answer it with the Skyclave. Ooh, and there's a One Ring. Well, 1, 2, 3. Skyclave. Apparition. Get rid of the Voidwalker. Pass the turn. Kaya Incubate. Yeah, Kaya, I haven't played Kaya yet, but I think the idea of using Incubates to maybe make Kaya work, that's a cool idea. Incubates are tokens that are always just sitting around on the battlefield, sometimes not doing anything. How has it actually worked in practice, Gertlocker? Like, is it hard to, like, you gotta get this in the graveyard, then you gotta get this on the battlefield, then you gotta get Kaya, then you gotta activate, and then you, like, get it for a turn? Does it actually, like, work in practice? Or does the fact that there's, like, so many steps you gotta go through to do the thing end up being a problem? I'll have to try it. But I think as far as Kaya decks go, that seems like a super cool take to make Kaya work, because Kaya just seems like a tricky, challenging planeswalker to really build a deck around. So I like the Incubate token idea. About it. Breeding Pool. And okay, Sheoldred's Edict to get rid of the Skyclave. Opponent really wants that 2/2. Well, we will take I guess a Martyr. Take the Martyr, pass. Play the Myria past the turn. We're gonna have our Myria on relatively soon. Is our opponent just like Sultai control? Yeah, I mean, you gotta exile it from somewhere, but how are you? So is the idea you like hardcast a 3-fold Thunderhulk and then like Suddenfall it so it goes to exile to turn a token into it? Like, how are you exiling it from the... I mean, that's a cool idea. It still involves casting a 7 or 8 drop, which is a bit of mana. Opponent. Passing. Well, play the land. I mean, I guess for now we just beat down with this Ranger with the Ranger captain. We could sack it to guarantee that we get to 1 ring. Flashing in Solitudes is probably pretty good. Let's just pass. But yeah, that's a neat idea, Gertlocker, for sure. Free tacos. Yeah, it's definitely a super cool idea. I'll have to keep this in mind. I have wanted to play Kaya for a while and just give it a try, because just reading Kaya, it seems like it's really hard. Have you had to play it, Gertlocker? Like, does Kaya pop off in it sometimes? Whale of the Forgotten. All right. Anticipate mode. Yeah, sure. I'd love to see your deck, Nickel. We're always looking at decks around here. The House deck. Ooh. Okay. So kind of a forest theme deck? That seems pretty sweet. So you can do a bunch of rampant, play the case of the locked house, and then just chain together creatures from the top of your deck that are maybe even getting you more forests out of your deck, and try to like just have a huge snowball-y turn. That looks super fun. I like the idea of it. All right, opponent. What are you up to? Oh, Sultai Murktide. Interesting. Well, let's run out the Solitude. Snipe the token. Untap. Go to combat. Smash ya for 6. Well, let's see if our opponent believes in basic lands. Do you believe in basics, opponent? Whoa. Do they not? Oh, all right. They do believe in basics. Boo. Well, play the land. And yeah, let's just pass. Let's just pass. Actually, I think there's more basics in Modern than there are in Pioneer. I'm pretty sure Modern players play more basics. It might be partly because Blood Moon's in the format. So I think maybe Modern players feel like they have to play more basics, which is probably true. I mean, we're pretty close to just winning this game. Opponent's at 5. They tapped all their blue mana, so we just attack with both. Opponent chumps. And then, yeah, we're going to play the 1 ring. I mean, we got him tapped down, so we might as well get down the 1 ring. Play the land. Play the Thrabid Inspector. And yeah, pass the turn. Hey Seth, what are your opinions on Standard Reenact the Crime? There's a new game-winning combo with Conspiracy Unraveler, Breach the Multiverse, and Respirator Scob. Yeah, I've played against that deck before. I don't have the wildcards to do it, but do you think? But I think it could be fun and competitive. Yeah, we'll have to try it at some point. It's a deck people have asked me. I had a few people like send me emails and comments saying, "Oh, you should play this deck" or something like that deck. So yes. So I will. Here's what I will say. I think the deck looks really powerful. It's essentially a combo deck. It's very powerful. If you don't have the right interaction to stop it, it's very strong. But I think standard players are going to start playing Graveyard Hate. I think they have to start playing Graveyard Hate because, hey, have fun, Bonanik. Because I think you have to. I think you just have to start playing Graveyard Hate, because not only do you have that, you have like the Splendid Reclamation Landfall deck that we played. So I feel like there's enough graveyard stuff going on. So I think the deck's really powerful if you don't have to worry about Graveyard Hate or like heavy control decks. But I think people might start playing Graveyard Hate, and then I think it would get worse. Yeah, I'm at the point now where if I build a standard deck, I'm playing Graveyard Hate in the sideboard. I'm about like 3 unlicensed hearses or the equivalent. Do you think that Mana Barbs in an Ohir Axelon Commander deck is neat or too evil? I think it's neat. It probably depends on your playgroup. I could see some playgroups getting, what is our opponent's deck doing? I'm not even sure what our opponent's deck is up to. It's like Sultai Murktide? I guess it's just like a Sultai mid-range deck. I guess. Yeah. All right, let's try something like, well, maybe we need the reprieve. Let's try that. Let's go down the lockdowns. Seth, the reveal of Priest of Titania, with the reveal of Priest of Titania, what would you like to add to Modern? I, for one, would love Days, Force Will, Goblin Lackey. I basically want Modern to become a Legacy at this point. Yeah, I would like to see more Legacy cards added. Force Will is definitely one of the controversial ones. I go back and forth. I'm kind of in the same place where I think at this point just making Modern more like Legacy is a good thing. So I'd be kind of okay with it. I would say, well, yeah, I guess this is fine. The reserve list plays into it a little bit. There's some cards that would be cool to add if it wasn't for reserve list issues. I don't know about Days. Wasteland's another one that I kind of want, although a lot of other people don't seem to actually want it. But I think I like blowing up lands, so. The One Ring art hurts my soul. Yeah, I know, seriously. I don't know what this art's trying to do. Hey, what's up, Spawn? How are you? Good to see ya. Green, white, tokens for Pioneer, eh? Ooh. Imperiosaur. When things go well, Imperiosaur can be a very scary creature. Westville Abbey. I do love some Westville Abbey. Yeah, that looks fun. How has it worked for you, Nickel and Dime? Winter Orb. Oh, Winter Orb Urza. That would probably be a thing, or else at least you'd see like Winter Orb showing up in Thopter decks or whatever with Urza. That would be kind of brutal. I kind of feel like when it comes down to it, I think, yes, Wasteland Ren and 6 would be a problem, but just ban Ren and 6. Don't punish the old card that's existed for 25 years for the busted Modern Horizons card. What did Wasteland ever do to anyone? Tarmogoyf, eh? I don't even think Boomer Sultai is a thing, but our opponents, they're finding a way. They're finding a way to make it a thing. What am I having for dinner tonight? I actually haven't thought about it yet. I'm going to have to figure that out, I guess, at some point. About it. Gets in with the Goyf. For one. Kind of need to hit a land. Little light on lands at the moment. Our hand's good. It's just kind of not any lands. Might be playing against Richard. I think Richard's is the only person jamming Tarmogoyf, and even Richard I don't think jams Tarmogoyf like he used to. What do you think of the Fallout Tarmogoyf? I don't know if you listened to the podcast last week when Richard loves his Tarmogoyf. He was pretty not happy about the Fallout Tarmogoyf. He was not thrilled. Land. Oh, not a land. Awkward. Well. Okay, get lost the Tarmogoyf. Pass the turn. Oh, we'd be doing so good if it wasn't for the lack of lands. This hand is very good. We just can't cast anything. Where is the Fallout Tarmogoyf? Yeah, Richard was like straight up offended by this card. It's so funny because Richard, out of everyone on the Out of everyone on the cast, I think Richard was like the person who came around most on Universes Beyond, and until it hit home, and it impacted him personally with Tarmogoyf, then all of a sudden Richard did not like Universes Beyond as much. It was too far. It was too much. Found it gonna crack a map. Finds another Ledger Shredder. I mean, we can kill the Ledger Shredder. Instead, we would like to actually draw some lands. Deathclaws are actually scary, unlike Goyf. Oh, so it's actually Fallout, who Richard did take it personally. So it's actually Fallout who got the raw end of that deal. Tarmogoyf's not strong enough to be a Deathclaw. Well, all right. Can't draw land, but that does mean we have a lot of white cards in hand. So we can gain a bunch of life. Yeah, the alt art is interesting. Opponent. Orcish Bowmaster. Well, it's going to make the One Ring slightly worse. Going after the Martyr. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reveal them all. Gain a little bit of life. I wonder if our opponent knows these cards are One Rings. We only revealed 5 and we're missing land drops. What else would be in our hand that is not a land or a white card? It's probably got to be the One Ring. Yeah, gaining 15 life is not bad. It's going to let us stay alive. Well, okay. Thank you, Eagles of the North. Finally, land number 3. Get a Plains. Play a Plains. And... Yeah, let's just play the Cami. Play the Cami past the turn. We will trade it with the Bowmaster, just because of the One Rings. Bowmaster is really good against the One Rings. Opponent considers and considers. All right, Ledger Shredder's popping off. I imagine they're going to have a Murktide eventually, and the Murktide's going to be big. Nails of Thoughtseize. Who are we rating? I actually have no idea. I haven't really thought about it. Voidwalker A. Opponent gets in for 3. Well, we're still at 29. That's good. Hey, there's a land. Well, 1, 2, 3. Let's Ranger Captain of Eos. I imagine they got a counter spell. We'll see what makes them actually use it. All right, here comes the counter. Counter spell on the Ranger Captain. I mean, the good news about missing land drops for so long is now we're hitting our lands, and we still have a bunch of action in hand. Keep the Field of Ruin. Pass the turn. Oh, Tomer's streaming? Wait, is Tomer streaming on Twitch though, or on YouTube? If Tomer's streaming, I'll definitely raid Tomer. Hey Seth, just to clarify, after analyzing the aftermath of your aftermath analysis video, I mathed out that you confuse the analyst with the analysis. Whew. I think you're right. I think you are right. Did I say aftermath analysis instead of analyst? That sounds like something I would do. That sounds about right. Oh, well then we'll raid Tomer then after we finish our match. All right, yeah. Flusterstorm. So I think we just wait. I think we wait and start solituding. Play the Field of Ruin. Get in with the Cami. If our opponent trades with Bowmasters, we're perfectly fine with that. Opponent. Alright. Takes the 1. Down to 16. Passes. Analyst, not analysis. Wait, couldn't analysis be a job? Couldn't you be an analysis? That sounds like it could be a job. So grief evoked. All right. Well, if they're not going to scam it, that's fine. If they scam it, we might have to do something else. So they take a Solitude. And then they try to scam it. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast a Solitude. Is every deck just a scam deck now? Apparently every deck is a scam deck. An opponent's list guards another counterspell. Every deck is a scam. Modern in 2023. Or 2024, actually. So, opponent. They gotta take the Winds of Abandon. Yup. But they are out of cards. I guess they can do something with the Voidwalker, sort of. But they are out of cards, and we are not out of cards. We have 2 1 rings and a Skyclave. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 ring. Protection. I think we're still favored. Our opponent's going to need a top deck. They're going to need a top deck. We can sack the Cami. Then we can Skyclave the Bowmasters and just refill. Opponent. Scamming. Deep analysis would be pretty sweet with Psychic Frog. Yeah, anything that you can flash back should be pretty good with Psychic Frog. All right, opponent, what's that 1 card? Silly scammer. Opponent. Passing. Well, hopefully it wasn't another Bowmaster. That would be annoying. All right, we draw a Haywire Mite. Our opponent's going to go after the Cami. We'll sack it. Untap. Take 1. Play Skyclave. To get rid of... I mean, we got to get rid of the Bowmaster. This is risky, but we need to get rid of the Bowmaster so we can keep 1 ringing. We may be killing ourselves here. We'll see. Draw with the 1 ring. Abiding Grace is good, but not good enough right now. So, play a Haywire Mite. Opponent gets to connive. So they hit us for 6, 7, 8, 9. Going to be close. Going to be super close. Opponent deep in the tank. Our opponent's playing at a timeout pace. I mean, we can loot Martyr, but we don't have any white cards in hand once we play Abiding Grace. So if we can stabilize and draw some white cards, then yes. Then looping Martyr would be very good. The other problem is there's a Duthi Voidwalker, so until we deal with that, Martyr's kind of a one-shot. If opponent would play Amonkhet Basics, would the deck be called Pyramid Scam? That would actually might be a good video title. Yeah, lots of... I mean, this is kind of the same deck we just played against, like the Rakdos Scam, except they're in blue for a bunch of counter spells instead of being in red for Fables and Lightning Bolts, but the core of the deck is very similar. Wow, opponent's gonna sack the Voidwalker. Well, we got rid of that. What are they gonna cast a... Gotta be a Solitude. So we're gonna Solitude the Skyclave? Okay. Solitude the Skyclave. Yup. Opponent untaps. Goes to combat. Swings. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can just block here. I don't think we're going to exile the One Ring. We could exile the One Ring. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But we gain 2. Yeah, all right, we're going to leave it. So we go to 3. We go back up to 5. We got our One Ring. The Graveyard Hate is gone. If they draw another Bowmasters or something, we're pretty much dead. Otherwise, we do One Ring stuff. I guess a counter is pretty bad too if they draw a counter, but... Alright, One Ring. Down to 3. Ooh, Winds of Abandon. Well, One Ring. Did you draw it? No. Okay. Oh. Field of Ruin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, what is our best? I mean, if they have a counter, they have a counter. We can't really beat that. So I guess we play the One Ring. Did you draw a counter? No. All right, so we get another One Ring. We get more protection. And then we play Abiding Grace. Opponent gets to connive. In response, do we draw with the One Ring? Yeah, in response, we'll draw. Ooh, that's an Emiria. Okay. We still might stabilize here. We still might. And we have this Winds of Abandon that if we get the right window, might be able to seal it up. Is the Goldfish crew going to CubeCon this year? I have no idea. I haven't really heard much about CubeCon. When is CubeCon this year? Well, Abiding Grace. Pass the turn. We'll get back the Haywire Might. All right. Are you going to CubeCon this year? Did you go to CubeCon last year? Hey, what's up, Blazing? Opponent has Shieldred. Oddly, this is okay, I think. Opponent. I mean, this isn't great, but... So we untap. We... Haywire Might. The One Ring. So we go up to 5. Down to 4. we draw down to 2 because of Shieldred. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Overload Winds of Abandon. Go to 1 because of the Wicked roll. Not dead yet. Not dead yet. Although if they find another Shieldred, we are dead yet. Oh, this is really... Oh boy, if we survive this turn, I think we are stable enough to win. Because if we survive this turn, then we get to start doing the Martyr of Sands thing. And we're going to gain back enough life that we are no longer going to be in danger of dying. We will get the Haywire Might, just in case. Get back Haywire Might. At 1. Is it possible we stabilize and win this at 1 life? Opponent untaps. They shouldn't have direct damage, right? I don't think. They don't look like a direct damage deck. I guess Bowmasters, yeah. If they do have Bowmasters, we die. Every black deck's gonna have Bowmasters. We can't really do much about that. But I think if they had it, wow. Opponent gave us the GGs. They said they were waiting to draw a Bowmaster and then gave us the GGs. And I think they're going to scoop it up. Why Haywire Might over Martyr? Martyr takes a mana to activate. If we had the mana to activate Martyr, we definitely take Martyr. But for this turn cycle, we can't activate Martyr anyway. But so Haywire Might's just kind of a random chump blocker. Pluto Delta for our opponent. Cracks it down to 18. Watery Grave, untapped. And scoops it up. A hand of not dead after all, an island. Oh. Well, I think we got a winner. So we went 2-1 with the deck. I will say, I think this deck is a pretty good one to play for the Moto Masters thing. It plays interesting games. It's long. It's fun. It's Soul Sisters. So I think that this might be the one that we play tomorrow. But anyway, everyone, thanks for helping me figure out what deck to play. And if you want to see some more Modern action, make sure to check out the event tomorrow. It starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I assume it'll be 3 or 4 hours for everyone to play their matches, but definitely check that out. It should be super fun. Reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube. That's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up on the YouTube. Some really, really sweet decks. I think there's some stuff you're really gonna like that's in the works. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome, and I love y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being awesome. I hope you have an amazing day. Have a great week. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow for some Moto Masters. And otherwise, I'll see you next Tuesday. Check out the YouTube. I love y'all. Be good, and I will talk to you soon.